Salud y Servicios Humanos de los Estados Unidos y el Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do. Oh, tell the world I see. With an emoji. To stop the bullies.
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The result is for the team. It's not for myself, so it's good for us to, win, grind it out. Even though we didn't play the prettiest of football, he gave me the opportunity to play Division I soccer, which is what I wanted to do my whole life. It's a goal of mine to reach my dream of playing professional, and he has made me the smartest footballer I can be.
That's what I want to see. Like, everyone wants to see that confidence.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into 209 Sports Talk. I am your host, JD Jeff Dominic. Along with me is absolutely no one. That's right, because for the next roughly about, I would say, give or take 25 to 30 minutes, Mr. DJ JOD will be joining me at some point in time. We will have, of course, some special guests, as they are none other than Cassidy Gustafson and Marissa Young from the University of Pacific Tigers women's softball team, and they are going to be joining me here about 6:15 tonight. So please be tuned for that, as you hopefully you're as excited as I am about what they are starting to accomplish here. Yeah, a little late in the season, but hey, right now sitting right at 500, looking to take on a St. Mary's team that they truly, to be honest, should beat. So we'll see what they're able to do here, and we'll go ahead and, of course, ask them about that, as well as possibly we got to get Cassidy's little send-off, because she is about to she's about to graduate from here. So we want to kind of talk to her about what she's felt like she's accomplished here at the University of Pacific. Marissa Young has had a phenomenal last couple of outings, and I want to go ahead and get her take on what she's felt she's improved mostly on. Of course, she's had some difficulties against BYU, and there are always learning curves that I'm sure she's hopefully progressed from, and we'll get her take on that as well. Just getting started here. Hopefully everyone is just settling in. If you're on your way home and tuned in, thank you all very much. We are live here at the Tigers studio, which is we're currently airing on Facebook Live. We're also currently airing on 209 Sports and a plethora of other opportunities. TigerRadio.net. My goodness, I don't know. At 91.9 FM, I believe it's still going on. So we've come a long way, and we are winding down these sports seasons, if you will, and getting ready to take a nice breath of fresh air. Good, easy enough for you to say, right? As we get ready to finish off this summer, and I know 209 Sports is going to be all over the ports. Stockton ports, and well, that's because there are reasons behind it, as I will be doing a little bit more than just being a media guy. I will be also helping out with my good friend Paul Meiskens, who's hopefully tuning in here shortly, and we'll kind of get his take on what's been going on over the last few seasons as well for the Tigers. And but anyways, plenty good things going on here, and oh my goodness, why is that so loud? I'm sure it's going to be horrible. On what's been going on over the last. Let's mute that. There we go, because now I'm sure there's probably going to be a really stupid echo going on. Anyways, we got to also talk about I think the biggest story right now, if you're going to look at anything the way that this spring has kind of taken place, and it has to be the women's water polo team. I mean, there is no ifs, ands, or buts around it. It has to be that's the true push right now, and they're going to be hosting a water polo NCAA play-in game on Saturday. Number 10 Pacific Women's Water Polo team will host. We'll look to host. We'll play host to Pomona Pitzer in the NCAA play-in game, and that's off of PacificTigers.com. That's May 6th at Chris Jeltsin Pool at 11 a.m. Paul Meiskin's going to be on the call on that one. The Tigers won program's first hit. Goodness gracious, I swear it'll be easier as the time goes along, but the Tigers won the program's first Golden Coast Conference tournament title on Sunday with an 11-7 win over San Diego State. Pacific is 20-8 and has won 10 of its last 11, including 6 in a row. So congratulations, ladies. And all signs are pointing that they should be able to beat Pomona Pitzer. From what I understand, they are 17-18. They have not won consecutive games in a row. So they have not won. They have. They have won 5 in a row. They're 17-18 overall, winning 5 in a row, including the SCIAC tournament. So I almost got myself caught up, and it was almost going to be wrong, but they have won 5 in a row. So they are on a little bit of a hot streak to both. So 2 teams on hot streaks looking to possibly keep their seasons going. And like I was saying, is that a lot of people and a lot of arrows are pointing that the Tigers should be able to win this one and move on. That's not saying that they can't, that something can't hold them up, but I think that everyone right now is looking at that they can. So we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of the and we'll get a kick out of this one when I say the hashtag why not us. I mean, why can't they? They got plenty of good players, and I think that they can advance to the 8-team NCAA tournament. That'll be in Indianapolis. And I remember talking to a few of them were laughing about that with the SIDs, and over here at Pacific, they were talking about making the trip to Indianapolis, and that'll be from May 12th to the 14th. They'll be playing number 2 Stanford in the quarterfinals if the Tigers should be able to advance. There will be live streaming and of Saturday's game and live stats via the Fosh.net. But I think that this is the biggest story right now regarding that the Tigers drawing at certain things of positivity right now, and I think that right now water polo has to be the top one. Of course, tennis has its doings, and of course so does golf. Golf is doing is everything's pretty much wrapping up once again, but I think that right now when you look at what everything's going on, sand volleyball's completely done with. So right now it's barring on softball finishing up. They've got a final series at home against St. Mary's, so that's going to be pretty fun to watch. I know I'm going to be there for at least one game, and then I'll have then I'll be able to go there and watch Sunday as well. And then for baseball, they only have 2 home games left. They're going to be in Tallahassee this weekend, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Tallahassee, going over to Florida State. Really weird on how the schedule worked out, but a lot of the WCC players or teams, had a bye week earlier in the season, and I think there was only one other team, and I don't have the team off the top of my head, that had a bye week this week in West Coast Conference play, and so they pretty much were hunting for a game or a series to play, and Florida State just happened to fall in their laps, and so here they go. They're going to go ahead and head on the road. Tigers 1-17 on the road, and they're not going to make any excuses, and so I will for them in a lot of ways. But they are without a lot of their main talent that they had, that are seniors and juniors, and I think that they had to push a lot of freshmen and sophomores into spots that they weren't ready for. But some of them have excelled in, so they are allowing to grow but in a different kind of aspect. We had a chance to see Carter Hayes this weekend, played three straight games, had a tough time, especially game 1 and game 2 against Portland, and he happened to get a couple hit his way on Sunday and looked fairly well, a little bit more confident and a little bit more comfortable in the third base in the hot corner. They moved Kevin Sondry over to second base. Nick Owasso was the guy that was supposed to be at the second base spot. He tore his ACL. He's done. So you look at that freshman that was supposed to be there. He's no longer there. They put a good defender in Sondry that moved him from third to second, allowed Carter Hayes, who was going to be your third baseman, and who got hurt and broke his hand in the early part of the season. Now he finally was able to come back, and then you have so he's just now getting his feet under him. Fortunately, you have Matt Tarantino, who's been a great addition to this team, and Ryan Schultz has also been a good addition to this team. But you don't have guys like Nate Verlin, who's been hurt this whole season due to I want to believe it's pectoral or it's a shoulder. It's in the shoulder or pectoral area, possibly even the tricep area when he got ran into over there in Fresno State, reaching out for a grounder, and I think he got hit by one of the players from Fresno State. And what I would hope is incidental. There was no stream available for it, so it's kind of a little bit up in the air on that one. Then Will Leiden's been hurt. Shelby Lackey, who's been your Friday starter, he got hurt, and Jamie Boris has been hurt. Danny Mayer, who's your powerhouse, got hurt early with a wrist injury. It just kind of goes on and on and on. And do you want excuses? No. You want to see results, of course. But when it comes down to it, the fact of the matter is that you're putting different people and plugging and playing on wherever you feel that you're comfortable with. And Coach New, I think, has done Coach Mike New, the head coach in his second year, has done a great job in trying to find a way to put guys in a certain spot and be competitive all at the same time. Now, has it worked all the way out all the time? No. Will it? Hey, well, the whole cliche thing is trust the system. And right now we have no choice but to trust the system. And as the season has come to a close, or well, I should say going to be coming to a close, the Tigers will go to Florida State this weekend. They'll head over to Santa Clara the following weekend on Mother's Day weekend. And then they'll head over to USF the weekend after that. Excuse me. They still got roughly, 10 more games to go. Maybe 11. I may have missed one. 11 more games to go because they still have UC Davis as well. So they have 11 more games. What can they do in the next 11 games that will make anybody feel positive? Just curious. Because if you've written them off, I wouldn't say that's a mistake, but at the same time, talking to Danny Mayer after the Saturday win where they won 3-1, they're looking to be I wouldn't say world beaters, but what was the word I was looking for? They're looking to be dream killers. That was the word I was looking for. They're looking to be dream killers, and if they can do that, we'll without changing some people's opinion about how this season goes. And I mean, I'm just curious because it is going to have been a tough season. 11 games left. Would people be happy with them going 6-5? Hell, would they be happy with them going 5-6? If they can win 7, would everyone be absolutely ecstatic? Florida State's no slouch. I mean, I'll give you that one right now. Florida State is of course, an ACC team that it would be tough to say that that they can beat a team like that. I mean, to be honest with you, that would I think that would be a little too much, especially when you're going on the road. You're already 1-17 on the road. Do you think that you can beat a team like Florida State? And we'll give you their stats here in just a second, as they are 27-18 overall. They're 11-12 in the ACC, 17-10 at home, 10-7 away. This is a good team. I mean, that's just all there is to it. They will be playing a Tigers team that is battle tested, but it'll be curious to see. They will be playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So 4 games is on the docket for against Pacific. And so that will be this weekend, the 5th, 6th, 7th. As a doubleheader will be on the 6th, 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. It'll be on their respective networks. Shows that they will be streaming, but it may be a website that you have to register for. So just a heads up there. As for us, it's you know what though? To be honest with you, it's a good test for the Tigers. Let's just call it what it is. Let's see where these guys can truly stand. Or do they have the guts to finish out the season? I mean, can anybody agree with me on that? Do they have the guts to go ahead and take on a team that is another team that is with a winning record on the road? Can they split the series? Is that asking too much? Maybe. But if they can split the series, can we say that this program is going in the direction that we kind of were hoping for to start the season? My guess right now is if they go 1-3 right now, that would be absolutely fantastic. I mean, you got a guy, and I'm gonna, as much as I think I put him on the spot the other night, but you got a guy in Ricky Reynoso who's your Sunday starter, and he's been absolutely lights out. His ERA is below 4, folks. He's at a 3.9 ERA. I think that if you were to walk in this season and say, hey, who's going to be your best starter, would it be Ricky Reynoso? I think a lot of people would have said probably Will. Will Leiden is senior. But we have a sophomore lefty over here at Pacific, and he's absolutely been lights out. I don't think anybody can argue with me on that. I think that if you do, I think you're absolutely going to be completely wrong. He's got a 3.90 ERA. He gave up. He had a 2-hitter on yesterday or Sunday. Excuse me. He had a 2-hitter on Sunday. He pitched 8 innings. Went up right at 100 pitches. Would have loved to have seen him get a complete game. I think he wanted to have a complete game. He told me he wanted a complete game. Learned something about him though last night or Friday night. Try it one more time. Sunday night after the game, I started to talk to him about his ERA. He doesn't want to know. A little bit of a little pitcher superstition, I think. But ultimately, that guy, I think he's going to be a good pitcher. We might see. You know what? Don't be far-fetched for me to say that we may hear his name in June. Yeah, I mean, I think that we're. If Vince Robio, the all-time saves leader, can kind of get picked up by the Boston Red Sox in the 23rd round, and guys like that are able to get picked up. Not saying that he's going to be a 23rd round guy, but we may hear his name in June. I wouldn't be surprised. So watch out for him. I mean, really watch out for that guy. He's going to be something special. Maybe not today. Maybe not this weekend. I'd love to see him do something against Florida State. Let's really test that arm. Who knows? I mean, I don't know if Coach would want to even put him in that lineup right now, but we'll see. I think that he can do it. Then they'll come home and they'll play Santa Clara. Santa Clara's dreadful. I mean, they're just awful. God awful. I mean, they're 6-21 at home. I mean, the Tigers might be having a tough season, but hey, at least they got a winning record at home. Santa Clara's 11-32. 7-11 in the conference, though. I mean, that's saying something. I mean, that is saying something. I mean, you got guys like that St. Mary's is a pretty damn good team. LMU is a pretty good team, and if you're able to be 7-11 in the conference, that's pretty damn good. I mean, I'm just trying to look to see who they've played and who they've beaten. They did beat San Diego 15-12, and that was one of their wins. They also beat Portland 7-4, but they couldn't beat Portland. Tigers were at least able to beat Portland 2 out of 3. They only beat Portland once. They did beat LMU though 10-3. I mean, that's pretty good. They beat San Francisco. I mean, they haven't really impressed me. They did sweep Pepperdine. I can give you that. Pepperdine's a good team. I don't think they're a great team, and Tigers were able to beat them 2 out of 3. So this could be a good game, a good weekend when Mother's Day weekend when these two teams play. And then they take on USF after that. I mean, the USF Dons, they're they've always been up and down as well. I'm going to take a look at their their schedule here real quick. It'll be kind of nice way to finish things off. They do have UC Davis out on Monday, but the following day, 22-23. You know, if you can, I think I wouldn't be lying to you too much if I think I wouldn't be lying too much if the Tigers could find a way to win 6 out of if they can go 6-5. I think that's not stretching too much now. The more I look at this schedule, I mean, the UC Davis might be an interesting kind of matchup. They play them twice, so I mean, why can't they? I mean, why not us? Why not us? So I'm just going to kind of see what UC Davis has got going on. I'm just kind of curious on what UC Davis baseball is kind of going at, and we'll talk a little bit of softball. I think I'm going to try and save as much softball as I can for the ladies that are coming in, but UC Davis baseball. Wow. Have nothing on there, really? That's kind of weird. Maybe I'm missing something here because. Oop. UC Davis baseball. Should be able to say something, right? Oh, that's just events. Come on now. Anyways, but yeah, UC Davis could be a fun one. We'll see how that kind of plays out. But anyways, let's see what else. We got baseball in the house. We got softball. We're gonna talk a little bit more women's water polo as we have the Tigers going to the Golden Coast Conference playoffs as they'll be, or playoffs. Try it one more time. They're gonna go to the NCAA play-in game, and they won in Santa Clara. They beat number 14 San Diego State to claim their first ever, winning 11-7 once again. They had Carolina Lavada scored 3 goals, while Kyra Christmas and Moriana Duarte each scored twice. And then there was a plethora of other Tiger players that also scored. And, you know, I think a lot of it is as much as scoring is going to be the biggest key, of course, and goaltending can only do so much, especially in water polo. I think goalkeeper Alexis Hollenreich is going to be the biggest key. She had 13 saves in that last one, the win, in order to clinch the championship. But I think she's going to be the big key in the not only Saturday, but I think the rest of the season. And we'll see what she can do on Saturdays. That'll probably be the third opportunity I get a chance to see this women's team play. So we'll see what they can do. If you have an opportunity, go ahead and see them. Once again, 11 o'clock. Ticket information, go on to the PacificTigers.com. They'll give you all that information. Plenty of ways to get a hold of them in order to get ticket information. Don't want to quote on how much it'll be, so that way you can go ahead and go from there. So, anyways, let's go ahead and take a small break. When we come back, more to come right here on 209 Sports.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad!
Oh, come on! This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Imagine if I told you that an earthquake was going to hit tomorrow right where you live. That it would be 6.5 in magnitude with aftershocks occurring twice 25 minutes apart. You'd no doubt talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you an earthquake will happen tomorrow, but what if it does? Shouldn't you have a plan? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese.
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Take an ordinary putty knife and scrape off the old wax ring. Place the new wax ring over the flange, then line up the bolts with the bowl and gently set in place, making sure a proper seal is created with the flange and drain. Next.
Dad?
Yeah, sweetie.
Is that an old plumbing manual?
Oh, yeah, honey.
We really need to get some new books.
Right, do you want me to stop?
Nah, I kinda wanna know how it ends.
Okay. Tighten the bolts, line up the flushing valve to the opening in the top of the bowl, and secure the tank with a screwdriver and crescent wrench.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council. In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
You're soft, you slop. They calling me Pop. I'm rolling in.
Yeah, man. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to 209 Sports Talk here in the Pacific Tiger studio. I am JD Jeff Dominic. Along with me is Mr. DJ JOD Mark Itliong. He's setting up a few things before we get too crazy. I have to play the Enzo Amore song. If you're viewing us on the 209 Sports YouTube channel or on the Facebook Live channel on Pacific Tiger Broadcasting, Tiger Radio Broadcasting, and you're having to check us out on Facebook Live. I am wearing Cup of Haters. Yeah, I'm wearing a little Cup of Haters, and then on the back it says, "How you doing?" One of the new T-shirts that I was able to get when having to be able to hang out over at WWE Raw on Monday night. And Mark and I are going to talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little bit about Payback, and also talk a little bit about WWE Live. You were over at he's not on mic right now, but Mark, you were over at the live event in Stockton, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah, he was over there. Of course, you probably hear him talk a little bit over the bleed-in through my mic, but anyways, he was there. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Just a lot of fun was over here over the last few days, and I was talking before we went to break. We were talking a little bit about the women's water polo. And what they can do this weekend. A little bit of historical moments. One of the first ever Golden Coast Conference. And have an opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament in Indianapolis. Yep. So, good luck, ladies. I mean, we're all looking forward to it. We're rooting you on all the way through. And hopefully we can, the next time we come back here, we can talk about what you have accomplished. And we're looking forward to it. So, with that being said, let's kind of transition to what happened over here at home over the weekend. And once again, I'm delaying the softball talk because once again we'll be joined by a couple of softball players. Marissa Young, the junior pitcher that's been working her tail off and become basically a number one starter here over at the University of Pacific, and then of course Cassidy Gustafson, who's been a phenomenal defensive player at third base, a mainstay at third base for a very long time. She'll go ahead and get into the circle every now and then, and of course she'll jack one out of here if you're not careful. So she's done quite a few things here at Pacific, and her senior year is coming to a close. So we'll talk about that once again here I'd say about the top of the hour, probably about 6:15-ish, depending on how things kind of play out. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit about baseball. And if you didn't, I just found out something here recently. I've got a good friend who's a play-by-play guy over for the Sacramento River Cats named Johnny Dasco, and he happened to I happened to hear his broadcast and found out that the manager for the Sacramento River Cats is Mike Brundage. Well, Portland came to town this weekend, and albeit who is his son, Bo Brundage, a center fielder for the Portland Pilots. So that was kind of cool. A little bit of tie-in there as I was kind of thinking about things. And so Bo Brundage, a talented center fielder for the Portland Pilots, and he is starting to finish up his career over there at Portland. He went, he was pretty much a thorn in the Tigers' side. He went 3 for 8. What have I got him at? 3 for 8. 6 for 14. The kid was awesome. One hit, one walk in the game that they lost 2-0 to. What did Ricky Reynoso do, man? Mark, I know you weren't there for that one. That was a game you should have been there for. I mean, I know you had prior arrangements, had to work and all that other good stuff, and curse you for having to go and make money. But then Tigers did win 3-1 against Portland on Saturday. That was senior night. Fireworks were going off, and what a great time. And Tigers did lose the game 1 to Portland that was Friday to kick everything off. So let's talk a little bit about Friday's game. Friday started off strong. I mean, you got James Free hitting one into the farthest part of the ballpark, and albeit the wind helped that one a little bit because it was a windy day on Friday. But hit one in the ballpark, out of the ballpark, not once, but twice. And he helped the Tigers open a lead of 3-0. Portland wound up scoring 1 in the second. Tigers answered right back, and then the Tigers kind of started to fall apart a little bit. Had 4 errors in that game, 2 by the third baseman Carter Hayes. And Carter Hayes just getting back in there, as we mentioned earlier, just unfortunately broke his hand to start the season and just wasn't able to be back into it. And I talked to Blake Berry afterwards, and he basically said, paraphrasing a little bit, he said, we took our foots off the throttle. We had them where we wanted them. We were able to score at will, and then we just stopped playing baseball, essentially. And of course, I paraphrase what he just said, but in all due reasoning, he's correct. And the Tigers just couldn't get out of their own way. I mean, they had Tate Budnick on the ropes, 11 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, and they had everything. Then of course Ryan Shreve, he pitched okay. He pitched well enough to where he could have probably gotten the win if the Tigers would have held up. He had committed 7 hits on him, 8 runs, only 3 of those was earned, and struck out 4. And in 89 pitches, he just wasn't able to do it. Bailey Hansen, inning and 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run, or 2 runs, 1 run being earned. Walked 5. That was his biggest downfall. But Bailey Hansen pitched well enough to help out and try and keep the Tigers into it. But by then it was already a little too late, as the Portland Pilots were scored in 4 consecutive innings, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That 4-run 5th was really the downfall. They did add 1 more in the 7th, and the Tigers tried to answer back with 1 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th, and just wasn't enough. And like I said, just did not seem like it was going to be their night, even though that they came up to an early lead and then just weren't able to capitalize. They did answer the bell though on Saturday. They did win 3-1, and Danny Mayer was the biggest one of them all. He had a 2-run base hit that was really all that Cooper Casad and pitching staff, the rest of the pitching crew, just needed. Cooper Casad, 4 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. He only threw 73 pitches in 5 innings, so a great job there. Justin Giovannone also pitched on Tuesday. He pitched 5 innings on Tuesday. Well, he pitched 2 on Saturday. 2 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts, no walks in 37 pitches. And then Vince Arrobio came in with a 2-inning save. So that looked awesome. And then they thought that, and it looked like that was the momentum that they needed. And then Pacific, the offense sputtered on Sunday, and it took all the way to the 6th inning before anybody was able to scratch the surface. Tigers go and answer 2-0, and that was it. Thanks to a base hit that drove in by Danny Mayer that drove in 1, and then Lucas Halstead had a sacrifice fly that drove in another one. Both those guys now averaging around 220. Halstead 228, Mayer 220, but once again, they have 11 games left, and then we just kind of went over the schedule a little bit, and I think that if they can go 6-5, they can. I mean, they really, really can. If you want to see what this program's all about, if they can find a way to say they can take 2 away from Florida State, if they can find a way to take 2, realistically, if they could take 1, I think a lot of people would be happy, only because they are 1-17 on the road. To get a second win is a big deal at this point. But if they can find a way to get 2, people are going to be loving life. And then, of course, as we mentioned, Santa Clara, right after that, Santa Clara's not a good team. I mean, that's just all there is to it. Let's put it where it's at. Santa Clara can be beaten, and they only have 11 wins. Tigers only have 13. So if they can take 2 of 3 from them, then we're right at it. But we'll see what they can do. Tigers, once again, they're 15-26, 4-17 in the West Coast Conference play. That's the only big thing that I can say that for Santa Clara is they're 7-11 in West Coast Conference play. I don't know what it was, but all of a sudden they're able to play they're playing good ball with only a few games left. I mean, they only had 4 wins going into West Coast Conference play, and yet here they are with 11 wins and 7-11 overall. And the Tigers 4-17 could be interesting over the next few weeks, because it's getting close to the end of the season, folks, and it's kind of hard a little tough pill to swallow, but we'll see how it kind of plays out, and we'll see. We'll of course kind of transition it here. You know what? We do have a little bit of news to go ahead and talk about here a little bit before we kind of take our next break, and that's there's a couple of signings for the Tigers men's basketball. I mean, I don't know if anybody's heard of them, but a couple of guys here going to be playing next year for the Tigers, and Jalil Tripp and Roberto Gallinat. I believe I said that name completely wrong, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and get into that story here real quick. Is two transfers for the 2017-2018 season. The Pacific men's basketball team and head coach David Stoudemire excited to announce the additions of two JC transfers, junior college transfers, be eligible to play for the upcoming season 2017-2018. Jalil Tripp and Roberto Gallinat. I'm going to try and make sure I get that one correct. But added Pacific Tigers transferring from South Plains College in Levelland, Texas. Both players helped lead the Texans to the 32-2 record in 2016 and 17. Third place finish in the NJCAA National Tournament. Tripp, a 6'6" forward, named to first team All-Western JC Athletic Conference. And then he averaged 11.4 points, 6.7 rebounds, 2.2 assists per game, and for South Plains this past season, making him the third Texans leading scorer and second leading rebounder. He's a Brooklyn, New York native. Tripp averaged 17 points, 11 rebounds per game as a senior in Abraham Lincoln High School. He'll have 3 years of eligibility to play at Pacific. When asked about Jalil, Stoudemire said he's a versatile wing that has a feel and IQ for the game that you can't teach. His rebounding, defense, and playmaking skills are on par with any player I've seen at his position, and he has a tremendous scoring ability. The fact that he's won at every level, be it while playing at Brooklyn's famed Lincoln High School or at South Plains JC Junior College, is something our program values as well. This is all coming from PacificTigers.com. Roberto can really shoot the ball, and his ability to stretch the defense will no doubt be an asset, said Stoudemire. He's an on-ball defender and can impact the game on both ends. Watching him run the floor with his tremendous athleticism will be a joy to watch for the Tigers. So get excited, folks, because he's going to be coming in, and we'll see what he can do as well, that being Roberto Gallinat. I got to believe I'm saying that wrong. I really do. I'm just reading what he was kind of doing, as the PacificTigers.com does have a little bit on him. He was second leading scorer, and I'm just kind of curious on what they say about Tripp. Oop, clicked the wrong button. But anyways, yeah, both of them averaged just under 12 points per game. So this will be interesting to take a look at. So good news there for men's basketball is we're realistically 8 months away from basketball. I mean, that's coming up fast, actually. You actually think about it. So a lot of things coming up here, and we're definitely needing a break as the summer months have started to hit. But I'm sure Mark's ready for summer. And what you doing? What you doing, Mark? I'm gonna talk like this. No? No fun. No fun. Talk a little Delta news. You want to talk a little Delta? Can we talk a little Delta? I think I've just kind of played out the first hour all Pacific. What do I have for you for Delta?
Men's baseball.
Of course I got baseball. Really? It's all baseball right now. You know softball's doing pretty good too, though.
That's why I said softball.
I heard baseball.
I know, and I said softball too.
So check this out, Mark. At Delta, they'll be hosting softball and baseball playoff games this Friday and Saturday. Softball is number 2 seed in NorCal and will take on San Jose Friday at 2, Saturday at noon, and Saturday at 2 if needed. 3-game series. Baseball is number 5 seeded in NorCal and will take on Skyline Friday at 2, Saturday at 11, and 30 minutes after the 11 game if needed. So a 3-game series on both sides. At CCCAA postseason events, the cost of entry is $12 for general admission and $8 for identified students, faculty, staff, and senior citizens aged 60 and over, and children less than 12 years of age. There you go. I got prices.
Finally got it right.
Finally?
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's easy when I have it in front of me. Jackwagon. Anyways, last week the Mustangs went 2-1 in the series with Sacramento State. The Mustangs won Game 1, Sac City 9-4, lost Game 2 9-13, and then they had a dominant win in Game 3 18-5. They finished 31-9. They finished third in the Big 8 Conference at 16-8. Wow. Crazy. Didn't even realize that. Let's see. Men's golf. The team had a week off from competition and are preparing for the NorCal Championships. So that's out. Softball had a week off as well. Delta swimming and diving. Delta had 21 swimmers and divers competing at the CCCAA Championship this Saturday. So that they're off. Man. Okay, here we go. We got one. Track and field. They placed third in the men placed third, and Delta women placed sixth in the individual Big 8 championships. In the individual Big 8, excuse me. So there you go. There you go. As a team, there you go. I'm not giving you all the complete details. If you want the complete details, ask me. Catch me outside. How about that? I know that's played out. That's so old.
Sounds so white.
That's so old.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, pretty much. Bye, Felicia. Anyways, Mark, what are we gonna talk about? What else you got? Did someone make the list? Do we have somebody that needs to make the list?
You just made the list! Oh
I didn't see no one.
No one? There's got to be someone that always makes the list. We got to have a candidate. Even if it's me, I'm okay with being a candidate. It ain't nothing new. Can't give it to Phil Jackson again. He's an idiot. But great coach. Idiot as a manager. What's that?
I think it's just the team itself. It's not him.
Hey, it can't be just him.
Yeah, because someone else is running him. He ain't running.
Washington's up on Boston 50-44 in the set with 7:22 to go in the second. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Just trying to see. I don't really have I don't really have too much. How about this? Are you ready to come on?
Not yet.
That's a lie. You ready? I got a question for you. I got a question.
Go on break first.
Go on break? All right. Let's take a small break. When we come back, let me get some songs here. I wasn't ready. So when we come back, let's go ahead and give you what you want. More to come right here on 209 Sports.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking, but no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Do you have troubled skin? Acne? With Proactive, you can heal your acne and help prevent new breakouts. Right now, in this radio area, we're looking for just 50 people with moderate acne to demonstrate exactly how fast Proactive works. The first 50 callers who qualify can try Proactive risk-free for 60 days.
Call 800-388-7152, 800-388-7152, 800-388-7152.
Is my kid in the right car seat? I guess she is.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I feed the birds and the bees. I love my flowers. The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. I love them. They're my savior. And I look forward to volunteers because they've all become my friends.
It's Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. The only thing I didn't learn in school today is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. You can't see it either. Get leftovers into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Uncle Dan?
Mom?
Dad? If you store your guns properly, so not just anyone can get to them,
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
Safer when my friends come over.
As your neighbor, I'll feel safer.
As a school teacher, I'll feel safer.
we'll all feel safer.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star, and Shelter Pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Kane is in the building.
Welcome back to 209 Sports Talk here on the 209 Sports YouTube channel and on the Pacific Tiger Radio Network and on the Pacific Tiger Radio Broadcasting Facebook page. We're broadcasting live in many different areas. I am JD Jeff Dominic, and a little bit of a scheduling change because they are here in studio with me right now, none other than Marissa Young, junior pitcher for the University of Pacific Tigers women's softball team, and the senior Cassidy Gustafson. Ladies, thank you all very much for joining us.
Of course, thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. And so as we're starting to wind down on the season here, but this team has done something since that we haven't seen them do since 2007, which is winning 7 in a row. First of all, how is that kind of momentum starting to build up as you kind of start to close out the season? I'll start with the senior.
Well, it's an incredible way to end a senior season, and considering how great this program has grown over the 4 years, it's something awesome to have going for us. And I think the biggest thing for us is we're very relaxed, and we're very we're taking things day by day, and we're not overthinking. We're learning how to feel things out, and it's a good thing to have going.
Marissa, you've been absolutely on a tear lately, having quite a few good games, and like I said, like I've interviewed you. That LMU series?
Yes.
Doing something that has never been done, which was win a sweep a series against LMU. Now that we're kind of seeing what you're able to do, and how has this junior season? How have you progressed, and what has been the biggest change in your mechanics as you start to become a big force here at Pacific?
I would say mechanically, I've learned how to use my entire body when I'm starting to throw. I think in previous seasons I was very reliant on just using my arm, but this year I worked a lot on core strength and strengthening my legs and really being able to build up my endurance in order to have weekends and outings like I've been having lately.
So as we kind of will talk about this season, but a lot of this is derived on the seniors and in the transition to what Marissa, you'll be next year, obviously a senior, but Cass and Marissa, what brought you to Pacific? I think that's a good question to ask both of you. For Marissa, you starting to get ready for your senior season next year, and Cassidy Gustafson, as you start to get ready for your finish off your senior season, why Pacific? Why did it come down to Pacific?
Well, Boss, otherwise known as Brian Colsey, a lot of people don't know him as Boss, but but the one thing he made very important to me was the fact that the athletics program here is much of a family. And on my first visit, I met everybody in athletics. That was administration, compliance, everyone, and everyone seemed very tight-knit. And I wasn't really looking for a big school to go to, and I felt the first time I came here, I definitely felt in my comfort zone. I wasn't nervous in being here. Even the girls that I knew I wasn't going to play with that I met on my visit, I got along with really well. And seeing how they interacted with one another was something that was really important to me. So that was something that I looked forward to having as a player at Pacific.
How about for you, Marissa?
Me, it was very similar with Cassidy. I didn't want to go to a big school. I liked that Pacific was a small private school. I wanted to go somewhere where academics was almost equally as important as athletics, but I wanted to stay in a program that was still competitive and played top-level D1 teams. So I think that was the big appeal for me, was I was getting everything I was looking for in a college.
Both players are currently, from California. Marissa, you're from Rancho Cucamonga, and then of course, Cassidy, you're not far off. I actually kind of last time I tried to read off this one, Rancho Santa Margarita, California. So
the Ranchos.
sounds like one needs a drink and the other. but in all honesty, what was was California, just trying to stay in California, was that one of the biggest things that also led you here? Knowing that it's as you said, small school, mm-hmm. but still the family knitted oriented type of system. But being in California, was that one of also a big push for you to stay around here?
Definitely. My mom always joked around. She goes, "I'm only 6 hours away, so I can still come up and do your laundry." She likes to joke around about that with me, which is hilarious.
How much laundry has she done for you, actually, though?
Not at all. Okay. I've learned.
So number 74. That's kind of an odd number. Not many people can really bring that up. Does it mean anything to you? Why did you pick the number 74?
It's a number that's always been in my family. Growing up, when my dad was in high school, that was a number that he used. Funny story, hopefully my mom doesn't hear this, but someone she dated in high school was number 74, so she liked the number. Coincidentally, they both liked it. So it's a number that I've always used, partially as a joke and partially because my family has used it for a very long time, and it's something that's definitely unique. I think there's only one other 74 in the NCAA, and she goes to Florida, I believe, but that's the only other 74.
I remember my freshman year when I came in, I was like, 74, what is that? Why 74?
Thanks, Riz.
Yeah.
Very unique, it's okay.
It is, and I think that a lot of people don't know that, and now that we're all streaming live, and this will be an interesting conversation at Thanksgiving now, but nevertheless, it's kind of interesting. Number 5 for Marissa, does that mean anything? Does that signify anything for you? Has it always been a high school number? What's that been for you?
Okay, so number 5, funny story. When I first started playing softball, this is an 8 and under, I chose number 5 because I obviously wasn't a pitcher at the time. But my dad has a sports magazine on the table, and he goes, "This is Albert Pujols. He's number 5, and he's the best hitter in baseball."
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I want to be like Albert Pujols.
Nice.
So ever since I was little, I've always just had number 5 because it kind of meant something to me when I was little. Dad was like, he's a good hitter. You want to be like him? And I was like, yeah, I do. So.
And now you're a pitcher.
Now I'm a pitcher.
Well,
no hitting at all. No hitting.
What got you both into softball? Was it something that family pushed you in? Was it something that you just kind of always wanted to do?
Well, for me, I never did any team sports until I played softball. I started with ice skating, gymnastics, dance, anything super girly and artsy was thrown my way. I played soccer, not a fan of soccer. I was the only girl on the team, so it was a giant game of keep away. Wasn't a fan of that. I do recall my parents telling me that my first game of softball that I ever played, I was playing left field, and a ball was hit deep in right field, and I ran all the way across the field to get it. So from that, my dad knew that softball was going to be my sport. I was always competitive since I first started when I was 6 years old, so it's just something that stuck, and I knew that I can achieve many things, so that I kept playing softball, so that's what brought me here.
Stuck with it. Mm-hmm. Now, Marissa, we kind of got a little bit of the backstory, obviously, because number 5, Pujols, that kind of all worked out. So does that lead me to believe that you're also a St. Louis Cardinals fan, or have you moved to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim?
See, a lot of people laugh at me and don't believe me when I say I don't really have a favorite baseball team. I have a favorite football team, I have a favorite basketball team, but I don't really have a favorite baseball team.
Okay.
A lot of people call me a bandwagoner for it because you'll always see me like cheering for. I'll always choose, like in playoffs, I'll always choose one.
Nice. Okay.
I like a lot of players. Ever since I've been up here, I've kind of been pushed towards being a Giants fan, so maybe eventually I'll become just a Giants fan, but for as of right now, it's just kind of, I have favorite players, not really a favorite team.
Nothing wrong with that. Cassidy, who you got?
I'm a hardcore Angels fan.
Oh.
Have been since very young age.
She can tell you every player's walkout song, and
No
the
kidding.
rally monkey will start going. And
What was that, 2000?
Me and 2002, they won the World
Okay,
Series.
that's right.
Me and other juniors, Sydney Lawners, we talk about when a certain song comes out during our pregame warm-up. She goes, "This is from the Angels. This is 7th inning, rally monkey time," and we'll always joke around about
borderline disturbing how well they know it.
Yeah, definitely some of my favorite players have been on that team.
Okay, so what's your feelings on obviously arguably one of the best players in Major League Baseball today, and that's Mike Trout?
See, the hard thing is that people think I'm a Angels fan because of Mike Trout. I will give it to him.
I wasn't going there. I just had to bring it up.
Phenomenal player, but I definitely like some of the older players. I was a huge Troy Gloss fan, David Eckstein, and now I've been a big Jared Weaver fan.
Okay.
So those are my favorites.
Along with Jim Edmonds and all those guys.
Mhm,
Yeah, I know he's a great center fielder. Obviously, one of his defining moments was crashing into center field and the wall and all that other stuff. And I think he broke his nose, if I'm not mistaken, in that play.
Mhm.
So a lot of good things. And I'm not sitting there saying that was a bad thing, because I think he still made the catch. So it's just a lot of toughness. So, but you've moved over to third base, and you also get in the circle every now and then, especially your freshman, sophomore, junior year. Why both positions? Why didn't you just focus on one at that time?
Well, originally I was recruited as a utility player.
Mm-hmm.
So from day one, boss always told me wherever you're needed, you're going to go. So I've already accepted that. And when I pitch, my mentality shifts to what it needs to be when I pitch. And third base, I've fallen in love with. And the funny thing is before I came here, I was actually an outfielder and a pitcher. So third base was definitely kind of new to me, but I've fallen in love with that position, and it's definitely my favorite corner.
And I think that coach is going to have a hard time to fill that position.
Yeah,
next year.
You wouldn't guess that she didn't play third until she got here. I didn't even know that, so that's like, wait, what? You're just so good over there that it's like that shocks me. I didn't know that.
Yeah, gold glove caliber and everything else. I mean, you've done a great job over there at third base. But this season, more than any other season, you haven't been in the circle as much. Has that helped you focus on being able to play your position a little bit more, and also at the plate?
Well, I would think that my game at the plate has definitely improved quite a bit this season, and sometimes having a little break from pitching is nice. However, I do love being in the circle. I love working in bullpens with Coach Yama and with whoever's catching me. And like I said, wherever I'm needed, I'm going to adjust my mentality and work just as hard in any other position that I'm needed in. So I will say that third base definitely feels like home for me.
Now, as we kind of start to say your goodbyes in some ways, what are some of the things that you're going to miss about Pacific?
Oh, gosh.
Me.
I'm sorry, I'm going to say it out loud.
That was easy.
Like I said, what brought me to Pacific is the family aspect. I'm definitely going to miss, all the athletic trainers, the strength coach, and how every staff member made you feel like that you were a part of the Pacific family. I've never heard of a case where an athlete is left behind in any way. Everyone is cared for and accounted for equally, just as anybody else. And that's the one thing that I think I'm going to miss the most.
And I'll do it this way for Marissa. What are you going to miss most about Cassidy Gustafson?
What am I not going to miss about Cass? No, that's like a serious statement. Cass and I, from the beginning, before actually I even got here, before I came on my official, I had gotten a text message from this weird number. I had no clue who it was, and I was like, Okay, and I opened it, and I remember it clear as day. She's like, "Hi, I'm Cassidy. I'm a freshman here, and you're going to be coming on your official soon. I just wanted to give you, like, a reminder of some things to bring on your official. I'm so excited for you to come." So right from the get-go, she was a quick friend. I think probably, like, the first friend I made here. I'm going to miss how much she cares about the team. And just the love that she has for the game, because it's something you don't come across in a lot of athletes. She's very passionate about everything she does. I'd be silly if I said I'm not going to miss her at third. She saved me in so many games. So finding someone to fill that role, that's going to be terrible for me. I'm going to be so hard on them, but Cassidy didn't do it like that. Why aren't you like Cassidy? Obviously, I'll be missing her bad. There's so much I'm going to be missing about Cass. It's the person she is, both on and off the field. It's truly going to be hard to replace Cassidy.
There's always good things that we talk always about the good things about Pacific and what things that teams are, whether it be athletics or anything, that we're still trying to evolve. But what has been some of the hard things that you've had to learn and adapt to coming over from, even though you're still in California, what have been the hardest parts for you?
I think to this day, time management has definitely been the hardest thing to take care of. Either when it's trying to finish a paper on time, but you have 3 games that week and you have no idea when the heck you're going to sit down and finish that paper, or when you're on the road and you can only see your family for just a short time. Even though I'm only about a 6-hour drive away, it's still the hardest thing for me was definitely being away from my family, even though, like I said, I am close. But I think that will definitely be that was the most difficult for me.
What about you, Marissa?
Am I allowed to say allergies? The allergies
Absolutely.
in Southern California and Northern California are terrible. You see me anytime during the week, it looks like I'm crying all the time because my allergies are so bad in the spring. But on a serious note, I think a lot of what Cass said, I agree. Time management. Somehow I always find myself doing things like 2 hours before they're due. I don't know how that happens. But
and you pass.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have to pass, but I'm still playing. So yes,
True.
luckily.
True.
Yes, I do. Time management. Sometimes it's as weird as it is, it's getting along with people, understanding. Like, I've grown up a lot here just from that, like knowing that not everyone has the same feelings or will react the same way that you do. And I think I've learned that most with this year's team is you're going to have different personalities. You're going to have personality clashes with some people, but you have to learn and understand how other people feel and think sometimes, and you have to treat them how they would want to be treated. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned is how to be selfless.
Now, I'm just kind of, obviously I'm looking into some of the stuff that is over here on PacificTigers.com, and Cassidy has you put as you're an exercise and sports sciences major. Interesting. And you're also a health, exercise, and sports sciences major. I better get it all correct. Are you still in that field?
Yes, I am. So that field specifically, it's a large department, but my specific field of study is sports pedagogy, and that's the.
Help me.
Yeah,
you saw the blank look in my face. Keep going.
All it is, it's the study of physical education, coaching, nutrition. It's a pretty broad umbrella.
Okay.
So we have some like strength trainers that are in there. We have some potential teachers in there. So my focus is physical education as well as earning my credentials for adaptive PE, which is working primarily with special education students.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
So that's my field's a little bit. It's very specific.
So are you going to do like the Paralympics and stuff like that? Are you like, is that something that you would try and get into? Is that something like that?
I have worked with the Special Olympics a little bit over the past couple of years, especially when they were in LA in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
But that's definitely something I'm interested in. Definitely want to get an elementary school level. That's where I'm looking.
That's cool. Okay, so after this, then, so you're pretty much finishing up here. Is there like more that you have to do? How does that kind of, after that you have to get an intern? How does something like that work out for you?
Well, I just reapplied to UOP for grad school.
Okay.
For my master's here. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. And so, Marissa, your last time I looked, you were in sociology.
Yeah, not in that anymore.
Okay.
I've been meaning to tell someone to change that. It's actually funny because my dad yells at me all the time. You're not a sociology major. You need to tell someone to change that. I'm like, okay.
Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah, no, I'm a marketing major.
Marketing major. Yes. Okay, so what classes are you taking right now to finish that off with another year to go.
Yeah, statistics. What other classes am I in? I'm in an economics class, and what's the other one I'm in?
MIS?
Yes.
That one.
Business Management Information Systems.
Okay.
It's all very exciting.
It sounds like, well, statistics actually sounds kind of cool, but that's just me being weird at that time.
Yeah,
but
no.
Anyway.
Basically, statistics, no.
What made you change?
When I went into sociology, and this was me being very self-aware, I will say, I knew I couldn't, like, after I took one class, and I was like, okay, this is not what I want to do. It just doesn't suit my personality. So I talked with my family about it. I was like, I don't know what I'd want to do outside of working with other people. And my aunt, actually, she lives in Georgia. She was a marketing major, and she really talked me into going into marketing. She's like, I think you'd be perfect for it. You have to be sociable with people still, but you can be a little bit more behind the scenes, and you don't have to be as careful with your words, and so it was a better fit for my personality as opposed to being a sociology major.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a small break. When we come back, I'm going to ask you probably one of the hardest questions. I've asked every athlete this, so this is you're not the only one. So don't think that I'm putting you on the spot, but I give you a few minutes to go ahead and think about it. If tomorrow softball never ever existed,
oh man,
what would you do? So think about it, and when we come back, we'll ask you that question. We'll be right back here on 209 Sports Talk.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to 209 Sports Talk here on the Pacific Tiger Radio Network and on the 209 Sports YouTube channel and on the couple of Twitter live areas, depending on where you're at, because that's what they're looking at right now, is they can say hi to Cassidy Gustafson and to Marissa Young, as they are two of the University of Pacific women's softball players, one of them being Cassidy Gustafson. She is a senior getting ready to finish off her career here at the University of Pacific, holding back a few tears, holding back a little bit of the emotions, I can already tell. And of course there's Marissa Young, who's celebrating her finishing up her junior year, and probably I think CJ's in the background, and it has been updated. She's updating it right now. She is changing her major, taking care of everything, right?
Thank you, Christine Jacobson.
That's right. She's all done. She's all done. So she's all been taken care of. So, Dad at home, if you're listening here or wherever you may be listening at, or if you get a copy of this, whatever happens, you can rest assured CJ's on it. Marissa Young has let her know.
Sorry for calling you out, Dad.
So, but anyways, we were kind of talking a little bit off air. If you happen to catch it on Twitter Live, that's awesome. But we were all having a good time here in the studio. So thank you all very much for tuning in. Anyways, let's see here. What have I missed that maybe we can cover? You know, Cassidy, with you finishing off your senior year here, what can you tell? What are you planning on telling everybody that is moving up next year, like Marissa, who's going to be a senior next year? What's one of the things that you can pretty much give them a little bit of senior advice as you get ready to move on? Something that maybe you haven't told Marissa yet.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure, because the way you two talk and the way that you've two gelled, it's kind of like, oh, well, they've pretty much told everything to each other. So
we have. We actually have.
Yeah. Well, what boss always says, that this 4 years is the fastest, and it definitely is. He always tells us, if you live to be 80 years old, that's 4 years of your life, and that's, if I do my math correctly, it's a 20th of your life. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I'm not a math major. Yeah. Came to that.
Statistics.
So that being said, the one thing I can definitely say is to enjoy the little things and enjoy every moment that you have. And that's one thing that he's always reiterated to not only myself, but to a lot of girls that come to these camps, to us and to incoming freshmen, is don't wait for it to be over. Just enjoy every second of the way, because every day is a different building block to build yourself, not only as a player, but as a person.
And Marissa, next year you're going to see all these young freshmen. I know how to do everything. I'm sure you probably came in that way. No, not you. No, never.
I was scared of everyone and everything.
Yes, you were.
I made it look like it, but I was terrified.
Okay, so
I wouldn't make eye contact with people because I was like, oh God, I don't want to rub you the wrong way.
Well, okay, so for every freshman that thinks that they're going to completely dominate the West Coast Conference and completely dominate that everything that Coach Colsey and the scheduling and everything is going to put in their way, what will you tell them as you start to get ready to step on that circle and they're looking into you with the wide-eyed and ready to go?
I'd say confidence is everything. It's great to be confident. From experience, confidence has gotten me through so much, but at the same time, you be humble. Be a little bit humble. It's what you think is going to happen and what may actually happen are two completely different things, and it's something you don't know and you can't predict the outcome before it happens. So you just have to have the confidence, but be a little more humble in how you approach things is what I would tell them. And just beware of, it's not as easy as it sounds, because I know before coming into college I was kind of like, okay, like a couple classes here and there, go play softball would be great. I remember my freshman year, I'd cry myself to sleep. I have so much to do. I need to do laundry. I haven't done it. So it's a lot. But like Cassidy says, enjoy it.
Would you say that's probably the biggest hurdle of moving up to Division I? I mean, is that all your scheduling and making sure you have all your ducks in a row, being ready to be able to go to class and not remembering if you have softball practice that day or not, or fortunately you have Mondays typically off, so that makes it easy. Yeah. But if you don't remember if you have softball practice, oh crud, I have a class. Is time planning and time management, as Cassidy was talking about, is that probably the biggest thing, or is there other hurdles that you have to know as a player and a person that's going to college?
I would say time management is the most obvious one, and that's something everyone will tell you is it's, because it's sometimes you'll forget. You have to eat lunch between class and practice. So sometimes you do forget things, but I think there's a lot of things that you figure out as you're going through it as well. Like me, I wouldn't have known that I can pull an all-nighter, and I brought a Keurig one time to the library. I've learned I can be really creative and innovative. I had to pull an all-nighter to finish paper, so I was like, okay, and I took my Keurig into the library. Everyone looked at me really sideways because they were like, what is this girl doing with a coffee machine in the library? But a lot of it, you figure it out as you go. And there are some things, there's some obstacles and some hurdles that jump in your way, but you'll be able to figure them out.
What about that as the athletics side of things? I mean, we can talk about school and trying to intermingle school and work and being an athlete all at the same time. What about just being an athlete? I mean, what has been some of the biggest hurdles of just moving up from high school to Division I?
My body is worn out.
I'm so tired all the time.
We were in the weight room today, and our trainer Charlie, he was joking around, pointing at me and one of the other seniors, Jessica, saying, "This is the senior center over here." Because it's definitely what our bodies feel like. We're very worn out, that's for sure. You can say that.
Favorite, I mean, I think we've kind of talked about it, but I'll kind of go on Marissa's side of things, and we talked about teams, we talked about all this stuff. Who was your favorite athlete that you looked up to as you kind of started to want to play softball? I mean, it doesn't have to be softball related. I mean, was it Michael Jordan, or was it, Nelson? I can't think of her name, but she was a famous softball player for many years.
Jenny Finch.
Thank you.
Hey-o.
Yeah. She knew where I was going with it. And I had it in my mind, and I was ready to go off with it, and it's just like, as I start talking, it slips my mind, but you exactly nailed it. But was it someone like that just made you want to be an athlete?
I know I have one, and it was after I started playing. So when I was really little, obviously I said earlier it was Albert Pujols. But as I got into playing and I got really serious with softball, it was Laura Berg.
Okay.
And the energy she played with, and because I had the opportunity to meet her one time, and the way she spoke and how passionate she was about the game, I was like, okay, like, you love it for a reason. I'm going to go do it just like you did. So I know that's who kind of really inspired me after I got into softball.
Same with Riz. I definitely looked up to more Major League Baseball players. My family always joked around with me that I was definitely a Vladimir Guerrero of softball. I swung at everything, above my head, below my shins, anything. But but when I got to high school, I looked at some of the girls that were only a year to 3 years older than me, and there's one I looked up to in particular, and that was Lauren Chamberlain, and she's a recent graduate of University of Oklahoma, and now she plays for a professional team. She plays for Pride, which is in Florida. And the one thing that that was so admiring about her was the fact that no matter what she did, she just looked like she owned it, and she was super confident, and confidence was something that I always struggled with, because I would always either be unsure with myself, disappointed in one thing that I did, and even though, she never strikes out, she either hits bombs or gets walked, so whenever she had something that didn't go her way, she brushed it off and just looked like it didn't faze her, and that was someone that I definitely looked up to in that aspect.
Talking with Cassidy Gustafson and Marissa Young, both from the University of Pacific women's softball team. And before we're kind of winding things down here a little bit, I want to get your most memorable games, and yours for up to this point. But for Cassidy, I want your most memorable game.
LSU.
Yeah, I knew it was coming up.
LSU.
I knew it was coming up. I just want to take us through it. Take us through that moment. Take us through that time that you stepped in the circle and took on at that time, I believe, number 3 nationally ranked LSU team.
Well, when I told I was pitching, I thought, okay.
Thank God. That's
I was excited. I'm not pitching. I remember warming up in the bullpen, and the bullpen wall was about 40 feet tall, and there's all these kids and parents looking over, watching me warm up. And from before the game even started, I was thinking, oh crap, this can go one of two ways. I can either do really well, or I'm going to get spanked. I don't know which one, but and that's definitely a game that I took inning by inning, because after the first couple of innings, I'm like, wow, I'm doing pretty well. This is good. Got through the first round of the lineup, and then when it came to the second time through, I started getting a little bit more nervous. I thought, okay, these are some of the best hitters in the country. Like, they know how to read pitchers. And I was definitely nervous each inning, and I always thought with someone on the base, I'm like, please don't let them score this inning. Let's not. And then I kind of cleared my head a little bit, and I thought, I can't think that way. I can't think, oh, this is going to be the inning where they come through and win. This is going to be the inning where they, Bianca Bell's going to hit a bomb off me. No, I had to take it inning by inning, worry about hitting my spots, and definitely the support from my teammates that I got throughout the entire game. I know some of them could see that I was getting a little, frazzled after each inning, thinking, wow, I got through that inning. And they would keep telling me, you can get through another one, you can get through one more. Just get one out at a time, get one pitch at a time. And definitely the biggest role model I looked up to that year was our shortstop at the time, Mel Habib. And she was definitely someone that really calmed me down. And last year, our sophomore shortstop, who's now a junior, their third baseman, Molly Bourne, both of them really were able to help me get out of my own head and help me realize that I was picked to pitch this game because my coaches and the rest of the team had faith in me that I could do it. So when that final ground ball was hit to Mel, I almost started crying. I was so excited. You can see tears in Boss's eyes start to form. Yeah. Everyone was like, wow, this just happened. And after the game, we started to call our team the team that shocked the world. So that's what it definitely felt like.
To this day, I still remember where I was when that happened. We were watching basketball, or there was a basketball game going on. Not a single person was watching the game. I mean, I'll guarantee you there was people scoring it properly, but everyone's focus was on that watching that screen. I remember that day.
That's fun to know.
So, yeah. Marissa, you're not too far away, but you've got one more year going. But do you have any favorite memories of when you step in that circle?
Oh, goodness. Okay. So I don't have any great victory stories like Cassidy does, or none that I can think of at least. But the one when everyone says, like, what's your most memorable game? I go when I think of BYU last year. That's the first game that popped in my head. It was kind of like a Cassidy situation, but less intense. I was like, okay, BYU's really good. You just got to go out there. You got to take it pitch by pitch, do what you can. We ended up losing in the most heartbreaking way possible for me. But it was probably one of, if not the best games I've ever thrown, hands down. I had my career high strikeout in that game, and it was a fun game to throw.
And real quick, I want to go back to the LSU game. And the reason why I want to go back is because we saw everything that was going on, but what was that atmosphere like, taking on the number 3 nationally ranked team at that time, winning and getting it? I know everyone just completely freaked out. Mm-hmm. So what was that over there in that dugout? What was it like over there when everyone was congratulating you and that team and everything like that? What is that atmosphere like in the softball world?
So many eyes were on us that game. People thought, oh, this is just another team. We're going to take home a win, and we're just going to go home and celebrate after. And I think once we scored our first run, I remember Sarah coming across the plate. There's an awesome picture of it, of her colliding with the catcher. And when we started winning, I do my best to tune things out. But in that stadium, it was physically impossible to tune anything anyone said out, because there were... How many people?
There's so many people, and I know just from our dugout, I don't think anybody had a voice the next day from our dugout. Like, I know I didn't. I don't lose my voice easily. And I was like, oh, Cassidy, great job! So I can't imagine, because I'm really good. I zone in. So, I was zoned into, rooting for you guys that entire time from the bench, but there were so many people that game, I do remember, and it was one of those things where everyone in that stadium seemed to be rooting against you, so anything good that happened for LSU, it was this giant wave of, wow, and screams, and then when something happened for us, you could hear our little fan section, but it was just, our little fan section was loud, our little fan section was taking on that entire stadium, so it was... It was a great atmosphere. It was one of those things that's just, you will never forget that game, no matter where you were, if you were in the circle, if you were out in center field, or riding the bench, cheering on Cassidy. It was a fun game.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Winding down here, and I always got to know, we have one question, and I kind of said that when we went to break. Favorite Coach Colsey moment? Cassidy, I know you have a lot, but...
more of a saying than things that he always says when he tries to tell us what's going on, it's always, here's the skinny. Tells us what he's going to say. And his signature quote of this year, I would have to say, is whenever he wants us to hurry up, he always claps his hand and he's like, chop, chop, let's go. The chop, chop thing.
Chop gives me anxiety.
So, yeah, that gives us the anxiety. It's like, crap, we got to get going here. And at the same time, we're like, there he goes again. Chop, chop. All right. Guess we'll get a move on.
Favorite thing, favorite memory with your teammates that you can say on air?
Oh, gosh.
There could be more than one.
Oh yeah, there's several.
Yeah.
There's definitely several.
Tahoe this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
This year Tahoe. We took like the greatest team retreat out to Tahoe. We rented a house out and just had like a little team bonding weekend, and it was probably like one of the most, not just like relaxing but fun weekends ever. It was and this was in the beginning of the year, so we were all getting to know each other. We took 2 little kittens with us. We had just saved some kittens.
That was fun.
10 days old, so so Tahoe this year, definitely. Previous years, my brain doesn't work that well. I don't know if I can recall.
I know. I'm just thinking about the paper I have to write later tonight.
Okay.
No problem.
All right.
But definitely the team bonding trips are definitely the most fun part. Yeah. And even if it's little things, like Thursday night bowling's like $2 a game. We go bowling sometimes. We
just had to jump in the pool.
Yeah.
It was freezing outside.
That was terrible. But we've had definitely some of the team bonding off the field. Those are the memories you're going to take with you. It does matter how well you do on the field, but I'm not going to remember 20 years from now that one person I struck out that one game, that one season.
I'm going to jump in and say our conditioning sessions, though. I think this year, our conditioning, we got our butts kicked this year with conditioning, and I think that's where, honestly, some of our best team bonding came in.
Oh, yeah.
We were all, like, crawling to finish our conditioning, and we had to, like, go pick each other up, and it was, that's another good team memory of mine, just, like, athletically speaking. It was, 2016 fall conditioning.
Thanks, Charlie.
Cassidy, what's going to be probably the funnest chant that you'll hear in the dugout that you'll miss?
Oh gosh, funnest chant.
I remember seeing Coach Colsey dance a few times too.
Okay, I don't know about chant, but Cassie's walkout song. What is it? It's a Kanye West song.
Yep, Black Skinhead by Kanye West.
Yes. Okay. It's not a chant, but everyone in the dugout tries to like beat along with the beat. It's terrible. We're softball players for a reason, but it's just so funny to watch and to listen to because it's so upbeat. But I think when you're not there and Black Skinhead isn't a walkout song, I think that would be like what I miss the most. I'm like, where's the off-tune beating? Where is it?
So I asked you this before we went on to the last break, and now it is time to go ahead and reveal those answers. If softball never existed or softball ended today, what would Cassidy Gustafson and Marissa Young be doing right now, other than probably talking to me on the air?
My team knows this very well about me, a little too well. So growing up, I did cotillion and I did ballroom dance, and I did that for about 7-8 years.
Okay.
That's definitely something I wish I could have stuck with, because once I started playing competitive softball, which I was about 13, I had to drop dance because I just couldn't afford it. It was just the time management was way too difficult and way too demanding on the softball end. And I thought, where am I going to get with dancing? I'm not going to get anywhere with ballroom dance. But I would definitely be doing ballroom dancing still. That was something that I really enjoyed.
Marissa?
We had to push our heads together and think, but I'd be out on the tennis court practicing right now to be the next Roger Federer.
Yeah, there you go. Serena Williams. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, whoever you want to insert name here at this time.
Yes.
Pete Sampras, that's my age there, but that's okay. But anyways, ladies, I want to thank you both very much for coming on. I know season's not done.
No.
There's a lot to look forward to. You take on St. Mary's, a beatable team. We all know that's my end to be able to say how beatable you should be able to take them on. And here's looking to have a winning season.
Yeah.
So
can't wait.
So let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and take a small break. I'm going to go ahead and have a picture with these ladies, and then when we come back, more to come.
About that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online. For like a year, she couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. But every driver seeks the pinnacle of their achievements. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone! Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments, moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. But every driver seeks the pinnacle of their achievements. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. The only thing I didn't learn in school today is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. You can't see it either. Get leftovers into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick. or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing? I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the-right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's perfect. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. But every driver seeks the pinnacle of their achievements. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Mark, I'm gonna be honest with you. Gotta wait for let's be dropped. Okay, hang on. Here it comes.
You gotta get chat with me, sister.
Oh, do it. So, Mark, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is me telling you the honest to God truth. I have not seen him wrestle in WWE SmackDown yet. I've seen him wrestle, but I haven't seen him wrestle in SmackDown yet. Kind of disappointed on that. You can be disappointed in me too because, well, that's just me. But I'm kind of disappointed that I have not seen him wrestle yet.
He hasn't. My mic on.
Yeah, you're on.
He hasn't wrestled yet.
Has he not? Okay, so I'm not missing anything.
But I mean,
okay.
He wrestled live show. He wrestled last night.
And you were there.
Yep.
So that's cool.
He's the person that kicked off the house show yesterday, which was amazing.
I heard. I mean, good friend of ours, David Hepperly, the Fat Man, who is recovering from back surgery, obviously, or sounds like pretty nicely. Hopefully to get the our show back up and running. Looking forward to that. Hopefully this summer. We'll see how things go. But anyways, a quick score update. Washington is beating the Celtics 87-77. 2:43 to go in the third. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to possibly seeing him wrestle soon. I mean, I do we know if he's coming back from any injuries or anything, or why hasn't he wrestled? Do you know?
Well, I mean, because he just came up, and they want to build him up.
A few weeks ago, though.
Yeah.
And what's really the build-up when he's been a big commodity for a while now?
Well, I mean, I guess they just want to. I don't know if he wrestled tonight yet, but he just want to see how he can do with a mic and pretty much start the feud up before actual wrestling.
And the feud maybe go through.
Yeah, and that's why you see a lot of wrestlers having their own type of feud. Well, they wrestle during house shows.
Who's this feud going to be? Does it know?
Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. And that's who was in the. Nice.
That's right. I mean, they've been having the beef already. I mean, that's why I said they wrestled last night. They want to see how they interact in the ring during house shows, and if it's good, they move up to. Hey, we should put this on a TV match type of thing.
And I heard through this over at Stockton, there was everybody was digging last night. I mean, like that house show I heard was probably the best that they've had in probably about 5 years. 5 appearances there at Stockton.
I would say so, because when they made a trade, a lot of people were not thinking that the people that were traded were going to be on the show. Because at first I knew they were going to come, so like Charlotte, she was going to be there.
Right.
And some people are like, no, there's still people. They had a card where it's going to be Becky Lynch versus Natalya only, something like that.
Okay.
But then they added some other, and then Ty Dillinger, Perfect 10 was there. So they had back-to-back NXT matches from the NXT.
We had Kurt Hawkins, and I was like, and that was like the dark match, I guess you want to call it. You know how they do with WWE Raw, they do the main event.
Mm-hmm.
No one, like literally no one was into any of that stuff that they were doing. Kurt Hawkins, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who even wrestled, nor do I care. I mean, it was that bad.
For a dark match?
For the WWE main, you know how they do the main event, that 1 hour show?
Oh, the main event. Okay,
before
I
Raw.
thought you were talking about like the main event sub.
No. Yeah, the show main event. I'm sorry. No, the main event was long. It was a half hour long, dude.
Who was it?
It was a triple threat match. It was Finn Balor versus The Miz versus
for the IC title.
Yeah, well, for the number 1 contender.
Yeah, for the number.
Yeah, versus The Miz versus Seth Rollins. Good match. There was a scary moment though that I watched right there in front of me was Seth Rollins got dropped on his head. I mean, like literally dropped on his head.
From where? Like on the ring side?
Yeah, he was jumping off of I think it was the top rope or maybe on the second rung, and they picked him up. He jumped and tried to cross body Finn Balor, and Finn Balor just kind of like, bam, just dropped him on his head.
Mm-hmm.
So, scary moments, but we're going to talk about that here in just a moment. I want to thank the ladies, Cassidy Gustafson, the senior, and Marissa Young, the junior pitcher. Cassidy Gustafson, pitcher / third base woman. Better say that right. Third baseman for University of Pacific women's softball. Ha! They can play baseball. Some of them can, but I want to thank you all very much for tuning or for coming in and hanging out with us. I know for Marissa, hope to have her on soon. She's a ball of fire. She's good.
Well,
she needs to come in here more often.
I like both of them. They are more
fair enough.
They're so talkative. We probably could spend a whole hour or two just talking, not just softball, just in general.
Yeah. So for Cassidy Gustafson, her season is wrapping up. She's 3 games left, and looking forward to being able to take a look at her last few games here at Bill Simone Field at home. I'll probably get one more interview with her before she leaves, kind of thing. And then for Marissa, she's got one more year, so she's been dominant the last couple of games. I mean, she's probably been dominant. I would say she's pitching well the last 5, but the last 3 have been beautiful. I mean, like, they've just been fantastic games she's pitched. So, your thoughts before we take this small break, get Sam in here, and get on with 10 Frames with JD and Friends?
As in, thoughts on
just the interview. I mean, you said it. I think you said it already, but just we interview plenty of players. I mean, we've interviewed T.J. Wallace. We've interviewed coaches like Doug Murray. We've had Andy Smith in here. We've had Creaky Von Vick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had a lot of talented players in here. Those two together, obviously, they mesh well.
I mean, they're like best friends.
It pretty much.
Like, if someone can't answer something, the other person was pretty much there to answer it.
Had their back.
Yeah, I mean, they had a math question. And no, statistic isn't fun.
I'm weird like that. I said it was fun, but that's because
When's
I'm
the
weird.
last time you took a math class?
This year. Coming up. I'm going back, baby.
I said, when was the last time?
Coming up.
You didn't take math class yet, so you can't say that.
I've taken math classes. It's been since 2000. I got you. Okay, I understand.
So it's not fun.
I understand.
What's the highest you went from math?
And if you want to go there, if you really, really want to go there,
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing math. I said math, not the other one.
Meth?
See? I've been doing math since, 2 weeks? It's yesterday. I'm always doing something with numbers.
That's different.
No, it's not. That's
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. How are you going to say it's different when I've been adding, subtracting, and multiplying things?
That's
in my head?
regular math.
You said math. You didn't say anything different.
Statistic is the whole complete.
Your question was math.
No.
Yes, it was.
No.
Rewind the tape.
I know I'm talking about math. I'm talking about the type of math.
Statistics? Yeah, I do. I go into statistics. I haven't done statistics.
Okay, so
but I'm weird with numbers.
It's not fun.
I'm weird with numbers.
I mean, okay. Well, before we continue, yeah, I like doing math, but once you start writing letters, X's and Y's and O's, what's the number? What's the distance between this and when they're gonna meet? Yeah, that's the time when doesn't.
You just made the list.
That's the time when we all lose focus. Okay, so we can do add, subtraction, multiply, division. That's all gravy. But once you're adding letters, find the missing. What's X?
I'm okay with that. You think I'm not okay with that? Yes, I actually have helped people with math.
Okay, me and Marissa need to get you like a page of just math problems and see you can answer that.
I never said I wouldn't be able to answer it right off the spot.
I'm just saying you're gonna answer on the spot. I mean, you say you love it, so we're gonna give you. We should have you do her final.
No, you're out your mind. I ain't doing her work for her. She knows better.
See how it is. Like, okay, like, oh, never mind. No. Yeah, so I took it because I'm saying because when I was in the program for National University, I had that class, and I was so worried about the class the whole time. And what's crazy because it's a monthly class, so we were doing fast-paced math. So every week we're doing like 4 chapters of math.
Oh wow, that seems hard. And I think I would struggle. I wouldn't lie to you.
Every 2 weeks we're doing midterm, and the last one is the final from the whole 1 to whatever chapter.
Wow.
The good thing part of it is like if we don't get the right answer, at least we have to show the work on how we got the answer.
It's almost like if you'd still get half a point for that, right?
Yeah, we still get points for it. So
that's cool.
I survived.
That's cool.
Yeah, but beside that, no, it's not fun. Get out of here with that. It's fun.
Why you gotta make me sound like that?
Cause that's how you are.
I don't sound like that. We know people that sound like that. I don't sound like that. Why I gotta go there?
See, that's what you do right now. So good.
So, what did you say?
I was saying that you don't sound like that. He's oh, so dude. So
I thought you said something else.
Nope.
89-84, Washington over Boston after 3.
Let's go Jazz.
When do they play at 7, don't they?
7:30, I believe. 7 or 7:30, one of those. But
they should be starting soon.
We're gonna beat the Warriors.
The Warriors?
We'll beat the Warriors.
How weird is that? Did you hear that what was it, 10 years ago? They were like the team that shocked the world. The Golden State Warriors were beating the Jazz.
No.
Yeah.
They beat the Dallas Mavericks. They were the 8th.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. So now they're celebrating 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like Jazz are like, hey, that was us, jerks. You guys were celebrating, so we got to now beat the. Now when we go back to home, we're gonna have those shirts that we beat the team that beat the world or whatever it was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but they didn't beat the Jazz, so
no, they didn't.
I don't think that would be funny anymore.
No, they were trying to play off of it. What I don't remember the hashtag was, but anyways.
Okay, if you say so.
But thoughts about the two girls that were in here? They were fantastic, weren't they?
Yeah, I already gave my.
No, we kind of got off on our own little tangent. That's why.
That's why I was answering for her when you made that comment about the math. So.
Yeah, well, you were being a jerk then. So
no.
Yes.
Nope. I looked at her when you said that. Like, I just gave her the nod, and she looked at me and like, yep, this guy knows what he's talking about. But yeah, I don't know about this guy. You should be the one interviewing me, us not.
All right, fine. Next time you're doing it. Done. That.
Don't go.
Let's take a small break right here on 209 Sports.
Como 2.340.000 sonrisas, 28.800 besos de buenos días, 110 viajes increíbles y unas copas. Hay una vida entera de su compañía que su familia no podrá disfrutar. Todo porque él decidió manejar después de tomar unas copas y murió en un choque. No pierdas tanto por culpa de tan poco. Manejar medio tomado es igual que manejar borracho. Un mensaje del Departamento de Transporte de Estados Unidos y de Ad Council.
Go Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's true, I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Take an ordinary putty knife and scrape off the old wax ring. Place the new wax ring over the flange, then line up the bolts with the bowl and gently set in place, making sure a proper seal is created with the flange and drain. Next.
Dad?
Yeah, sweetie.
Is that an old plumbing manual?
Oh, yeah, honey.
We really need to get some new books.
Right, do you want me to stop?
Nah, I kinda wanna know how it ends.
Okay. Tighten the bolts, line up the flushing valve to the opening in the top of the bowl, and secure the tank with a screwdriver and crescent wrench.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to 209 Sports Talk here on the Pacific Tiger Radio Network and on the 209 Sports YouTube channel and on the Facebook Live for the University of Pacific Tiger Radio Network. I think it's just called Tiger Radio Network. But anyways, thank you all very much for joining us. If you missed any of the show, it will stay up there for as long as it stays up. And yes, that's what I deal with on a regular basis. It's as far as it extends. But anyways, it will stay as long as the existence stays. 209 Sports YouTube channel will always stay there, so you can always catch back up with that and see what Cassidy Gustafson and Marissa Young, University of Pacific women's softball, had to say as they hung out with us for a good solid 45 minutes, Mark?
Yes, sir.
So that's kind of cool. So anyways, thank you all very much. Thank you to Christine Jacobson, the SID for University of Pacific, for setting that all up.
Not just that, but also changing up Marissa Young's
major on the fly.
Yep, on the spot.
She was able to do it all. But thank you all very much for all that. It was a fun time, fun time. But Mr. DJ JOD, Mark Leon, we have a guest in the studio. A regular guy.
Just a regular.
Just some dudes that want to talk about sports, right?
Some dude they found on the street.
That's right. None other than Sam Maluth is joining us, and I think it's also time for. We got time. We're ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
We're ready.
Yep.
I think it's time to hit it. Whoa, that's not. I was about to hit the wrong thing. Let's go there. Turn me up. Bam. Frames with JD and friends. Now, if you're not familiar with the segment, I say this often, say this a lot. Mr. DJ JOD has 10 questions that he has devised that we have not seen, nor do we. This is all unrehearsed. So, he will ask the question. We will be getting a score after we answer up to the best of our abilities. We don't know if we're going to play as a team or if we're going to be individual. Something that he has all of a sudden randomly brought up as a new rule that's been added to the list.
Yeah.
You just made the list!
And, oh no. And from there, we'll get a score. And at the end, he thinks that he keeps track of the score. By the end, we don't know what the hell we did, but we have a good time with doing it. Mr. DJ JOD, if you're ready, start with.
Number 1. The goal for today's game is not to get Sam Maluth mad.
Good luck with that.
He always find a way.
I try to pretend as if the scores don't matter, but when they don't make sense, they matter.
Okay, you guys pay attention to the draft?
Yes,
sort of.
Well, I watched the first couple of rounds, I should say.
Okay, so the Cleveland Browns drafted the right person, as in position-wise, not the player itself. I mean, if you want to say that, go ahead. Or should they went and drafted a quarterback in the first overall pick?
Sam, go ahead and take that one away. Are we doing this as a team? Can we know that right from the start? However we want.
However I want.
No. You don't pass it off on us. You decide.
It's your game. Remember?
Well,
you make the rules.
Well, this one you could do individual since you guys have your own opinions.
All right.
Okay.
Fair enough.
You can't bash each other. Once you bash each other, then
you start docking points.
I'm gonna make this into a team game. When they go, no, don't agree.
But if we work together, then we can get
your own points yourself.
Right.
Which makes absolutely no sense.
I know, it never does.
Okay, so I think that from what I've heard that Myles Garrett was the best player in the draft available at number 1. So I think that they made the right pick. I mean, I know that they still are trying to find a quarterback, but if you take the best guy, you take the best player available, and that's what they did. I don't see it any other way. We can get to what Chicago did in a moment, but yeah, I see it as Myles Garrett. That made sense.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to say it like this, and they didn't have just one pick. So that's why I'm going to say that they addressed a lot of needs right from the start. And, yeah, if you're talking about, because you said first round, right?
Oh, well, I mean first overall pick.
The first overall pick?
Yeah.
Then, yeah, I think absolutely that they picked the right guy at this time, because they look at their history with drafting quarterbacks. And if you bring up their history of drafting quarterbacks, not very good, i.e. Johnny Manziel, Tim Couch, guys like that you're just like, wow, a lot of promise, but just came out completely flat. I think you solidify yourself with that defense and put places, because next year's draft supposedly has a bigger quarterback crop. I think they set themselves up for a nice draft next year as well. So I think right now with what they have, they picked properly. I think by bringing Myles Garrett and with the rest of their picks throughout the first round, they did a great job in their draft picks in the first round, especially in the first round.
Okay, good job. I'll be nice because you guys made some good points, so I give you guys a strike.
Awesome.
All right.
Is Sammy mad?
No, off to a good start.
Give it time. We got 9 more questions.
Yes, technically, it can only go downhill from here.
Number 2. What is your grade and review on the trade and the draft picks that San Francisco 49ers drafted in the first round?
See, I'm glad you didn't bring that one up, because I know that Sam was kind of alluding to it. He alluded to it,
yes.
And so he did a good job with that. But I think the San Francisco Niners made out like a bandit. I mean, you went down one pick where they thought that the Chicago Bears were going to draft a defensive player, and it was Kyle Shanahan that said, I think they're drafting a quarterback. I think they're drafting Mitchell Trubisky. To push that trade along and to be right, and for what you got from it, you got a couple third-round picks and a fourth, I think, or was it 2 fourths and a third or something like that added to your draft?
It was a lot, whatever.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Pick from next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I think one of those thirds was going to next year. So you got 2 third-round picks and a fourth or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You got 3 draft picks to bolster your team, and all you had to do was move down one spot, knowing that they weren't going to take the guy that you were going to take. That's fantastic. I give that a complete A+. I mean, that was great.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said. I mean, it was a great move for the 49ers, especially because they're trying to find a way to make their team better at multiple positions. Like, they don't just need one new piece, they need a lot of new pieces. So with all the picks that they got, plus for this year, plus next year, I believe that they really improved their team, and it also shows how much Chicago had to give up. Just shows how much that pick was being bidded for. So the Niners taking the best price, which was the Bears, that was a great job by them.
What about the picks itself? No mention with the picks.
Of who? What? Solomon Thomas?
Yeah, and the first 2 picks in the first round.
Who was the other guy?
The dude from Alabama.
Reuben Foster.
Oh yeah,
Foster.
They did well for both those picks. I mean, Foster was supposed to be much higher, but he was hurt, right? Or like
No, he had a diluted drug sample.
Oh, I don't even know what that means, but that doesn't sound.
What's that? You're shaking your head.
Sam, he just went. I shouldn't have asked that question because he was in 10, and now he dropped 5 because he was like, "Who's the other guy drafted?"
Whatever.
Yeah, but anyways.
Hold on. I had it after a second. I knew who it was.
No, you didn't. We have to mention who it was. It's okay, Sam. I made it matter.
So as far as the draft picks go, real quick to answer your question there, Mark, is that I think that they filled 2 needs. They have an inside linebacker position that's still open up. Will Hoyt I believe is no longer on contract, so if he's not there, he's going to be under a 1-year contract. Navarro Bowman, we don't know what we're going to get from him, if we're going to get anything left from him. He went back out on IR last season with the injury. He's still recovering from that bad, gruesome injury in Seattle. So we don't know who the Niners' defensive linebacking core is going to look like. So to draft somebody like Reuben Foster with a question mark maybe, but still a phenomenal linebacker in the college ranks, good move. Solomon Thomas from Samford, good move. They filled a lot of good needs. That defensive line is on paper at least, looks really good.
I'd also say that Foster, I think he said he wants to be like the next Patrick Willis, basically. I mean, I don't know if that's
Don't
possible.
go too far.
That's what I think that he said that. Like, I think that's his goal because of who he got drafted
Sam.
to.
Good try. Good try.
Alright.
I give.
We hit it?
Yeah, hit.
Okay.
I'm ready to give you guys a grade. So I give a strike to Jeff.
Thanks.
And then 5 pins to poor little Sam.
Oh, there it is.
That's
There it is. I'm gonna get mine here soon too. I already know it. So, you want me to hit it one more time, Mark?
Yeah, one more time.
Got it.
Question number 3. Okay. So we're talking about the San Francisco now. Let's go over to the other side of the Bay. What is your grade and review on the first round and overall draft picks for the Oakland Raiders?
Jeff, I'm gonna throw this to you.
No, you're number 1. You're on the odds.
Oh man. Well, okay. The one thing that I do remember from the draft is that in the first round they took a guy who was up for charges of some sort, like he might have committed a crime.
Suspicion of rape.
Yeah, suspicion. That's a big question mark right there. So they certainly took a risk in the first round. I think I heard earlier today or yesterday that he was found not guilty or something like that of his charges. Won't face.
Well, he went through a lie detector test. They did one team, I believe it was the Los Angeles Chargers, went and gave him a lie detector test, which he passed. So that
doesn't. I don't know how much that means though.
You ever taken a polygraph test?
No, but I've seen it on TV.
Mark, I'm really trying hard not to argue with him. I want you to hear my voice. I'm really trying hard not to do it. So his name is Garyon Conley. He's a cornerback from Ohio State. He was under suspicion of rape.
Exactly what you
oh
want.
goodness! I got. Well, apparently I've got something that's just going off.
Pepperoni, meat lovers, or even
Pepperoni. We heard pizza. I know.
50% off any menu price pizzas when you order online.
That's fine. I got it.
This deal ends soon. No one out pizzas.
All right. Anyways, back to what we were saying. So his name is Garyon Conley. He got drafted in the first round by the Oakland Raiders. And once again, number of rape. Doesn't sound like he's going to get charged. We'll see how that kind of plays out. Number 2, they drafted Obi Melifonwu, a safety from Connecticut. They're still trying to find a way to take the advantage of Charles Woodson and bring somebody back. So they drafted in the second round him. Eddie Vanderdoes, the defensive tackle UCLA. So another defensive push, and then they drafted an offensive lineman from Florida, David Sharp. So this is still your answer there, Sam. I'm just giving you draft picks. Round 5, number 168, Markel Lee, linebacker, Wake Forest. Shalon Luane, safety, Washington State, and offensive tackle Jalen Ware, Alabama State. Oh, also Elijah Hood, running back, North Carolina.
Get half off exactly
and
what you
wow,
want.
they had a lot of 7th round. Trayvon Hester, defensive tackle. A lot of defensive stuff.
Or even original
that's what I was going to say. It seems like they're trying to fix any defensive problems that they had. I guess, because quarterback set, running back is set. I forget who they have for wide receiver. I don't know. I don't have a ton of opinions on Raiders because I wasn't following the draft overall, but I certainly wasn't following the Raiders draft. But it seems like the first round was a question mark. Hopefully he will be able to stay out of trouble in the future. But I'm sure that Raiders fans are possibly scratching their head about that pick.
I'm not gonna sit there and disagree with you, but at the same time, I don't think that they're really scratching their head. I think a lot of the other side of the ball had a lot of issues that they needed to fix. You look offensively, they're pretty well set. They got Marshawn Lynch. They drafted a running back in the later rounds, which interesting. But they drafted Marshawn Lynch. They also have a couple of running backs in the backup that they're hoping that will develop. A lot of their focus was on defense. I think they filled a lot of defensive needs, and they are pushing themselves to where they have a lot of depth on the defensive side, which in this day and age of the NFL, you need as much defensive help as you can get, and I think they got it with that draft. I think they helped themselves, if not for getting that true one big star. They at least they're going to put a lot of help for that defensive side. I
give Jeff 8, I give Sam a 6.
Hey.
I could have given you Gutter Ball.
I know.
But
I know.
since this is a game where you don't know what question is going to be asked, so you don't really pay attention, but it's always good to pay attention to sports.
Yeah. I mean, I was sort of following the draft, but I had other things that were more pressing.
Why did I get hate? Just curious.
Because it took so long.
See, now he's mad.
Got me distracted. Got me looking at other stuff like, dude, just answer the question.
Mark, can we go have some pho after this?
Next question. Hit the thing.
Oh, well, I'm asking a question.
4.
I thought it was question
I'm
time.
asking. Oh, okay. Okay.
Everyone's talking about how good it is. I want some. Never had it before.
You're not ready for it. You're not ready. You're not ready.
Take a picture.
You're like Dr. G. You guys were not ready for it.
Listen to music. Or make a call.
Number 4. So you mentioned
reinsure your phone will go through our toughest
Marshall Lynch with the Raiders. Now Jamal Charles signs with the Broncos and Adrian Peterson with the Saints. Who will have the better season for the 2017-2018 NFL season?
Between Jamal Charles and...
Between those 3. Marshall Lynch, Jamal Charles, and Adrian Peterson.
Ooh, good one.
Behavior at the Red Sox game last night was unacceptable.
And who will benefit more in the team wise?
This is not what Massachusetts and Boston are about.
I think Marshawn Lynch will. And here's the reason why. And it was kind of a toss-up. I actually pushed myself away from Jamal Charles all the way through. I think I'm looking at it towards a two-man race, and I would say that Marshawn Lynch will. I think the line is much better than the line over in New Orleans. So I think he will. Plus, you have Carr coming back, and you have 2 good wide receivers that will allow him to do what he does: beat up the interior linemen and beat up the middle linebacking core, and make it harder for the safeties to freak out to press the box. On the other side, where I looked at, like, if you look at Denver, we still don't really know what Trevor Siemian is going to bring next year as a quarterback. So I think a lot of it will push on what Jamal Charles can do and if he can even mesh well in that offensive line. As far as in New Orleans, you no longer have a lot of your weapons that you had. You still got some good weapons, and you still have the one main guy, that being Drew Brees. But I looked at the line kind of thing, and I think that the line is better in Oakland. And I think that's why he's going to have a better season. I say Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, this is disgusting. What about the people that think it every day?
Sorry, I was doing some last-minute research.
That's fine. That's allowed.
That are saying it maybe not to players on the field.
Was that last year? Did Charles tear his ACL this past season, or was that a previous season? Does anybody know?
What's that?
Did Charles tear his ACL?
2 seasons ago.
Oh, okay. Last season he was healthy?
No, last season he had concussion issues.
Oh, okay.
The last couple of seasons he's been injured.
Yeah, I mean he's all 3 of these guys. Well, actually no, not Lynch, but the other 2 guys have certainly had injury problems in the past. I'm actually going to go with Charles. We'll have the best season because I think that Marshawn Lynch took a year off from football, and I don't know how much he has left in the tank at this point because he needed to take that year off clearly. And if he's going to be able to ramp back up into playing shape,
it's all about the action, boss.
I don't even get that reference. But also I think that Adrian Peterson's coming off an injury as well, and he's 32. I mean, he's the oldest of the 3. I think. I'm gonna give it to Charles. I think he'll stay healthy, and I think he's got a good team in Denver, even if they have questions at the quarterback.
I give Jeff another 8. I give Sam a 7.
All right, fair.
I won't not hurt you too much on that saying that you say you didn't get the reference.
Yeah, but at least I knew the story. I heard about it today.
One more time.
Okay. It seems unnecessary.
For what?
What?
To do it before and after.
Well, how about this?
Well, one to give you the reviews, and then you have to hit again to get the next question.
And I've got control of the computer, so.
Yeah, you want that? now you're getting it from both right and left.
This is what the audience wanted.
Yeah. Sure. One more time.
That was sarcasm.
I know it was. That's why I did it again.
Okay, so we were. That was the running back situation. So now that draft is over, do you expect to see a team signing Colin Kaepernick? If yes, when? If no, why not?
That's your question, sir. You're on the odds.
I know. I feel like. I mean, I'm rooting for Colin, but I don't think any team is going to sign him.
So then, why not?
Because they probably still view him as a headache. I mean, I think that unless the team is really that desperate, I think that they still view him as a possible distraction in the clubhouse, in the media, and there probably will still be some backlash at whoever signs him, which is unfortunate. But I don't see a team. I mean, it's not he didn't have a terrible year last year. He wasn't great, but I don't see any team signing him.
Was it more? Okay, let's continue. Is it more on what the controversy has been going through, or just his playing ability is pretty much everyone ready to adapt to how his playing style?
It's probably both. I think it's a combination. Like if his skills were like if he had shown last year that he can still be a really good quarterback, then I think a team would take a chance on him. But because he hasn't been very good the past few years, plus the possible distraction, I think it all adds up to why he probably won't get signed.
Okay, sounds good.
I don't think he gets signed, and here's the reason why: is that I think that he's actually asking too much. I think he's asking for too much right now. I mean, look at still the good available quarterbacks out there. We still got Jay Cutler, albeit he may not be the best and top-notch quarterback. But if you look at Colin Kaepernick versus Jay Cutler, a lot of teams are going to say that they'd much rather have Jay Cutler for a couple reasons, as Sam said already, that he may be asking for a little bit too. He may be a little bit too much of a headache case, but I think that Colin Kaepernick may be asking for a little bit too much money. And also, you also look at Robert Griffin III is still out there. I think in comparison, Robert Griffin is a better passer than Colin Kaepernick, but Colin Kaepernick has the arm. I think that
and health.
Well, that may be, but still, and I just think that it's still the fact of the matter of. Because if you actually look at it, how many interceptions does Colin Kaepernick have last year? Last year, not throughout the season of the year before. When he came back in spot starts. 0! He had 0.
0 interceptions?
0. So, no interceptions last year, but yet no team wants him. I think a lot of it has to do with money. I think that because he's asking for so much money, that may be hurting him.
I mean, I'm not saying that.
I think that, but they're not saying it, but I think it may be there.
What proof do you have that he's been asking for too much money? I'm just like,
why hasn't he been signed?
Because people think he's a head case.
That's not true all the way. Because he stood up for his opinion. I mean, I don't think that a lot of people. There's people that have, you know, when someone, and I'm afraid that I'm going to start going into some of the questions that Mark may have. But when someone like Joe Mixon, who everyone knows that my opinion behind him, and anybody like Greg Hardy and these guys that are sitting there and they're finding a way to be able to play in the NFL, and Ray Rice that's been allowed to at least come back, but no one signed him. All that compared to Colin Kaepernick having a little bit of freedom of speech and doing it, maybe not doing it tastefully, but still has the reason, is absolutely wrong. But I still think that somewhere along the line, money has something to do with it. And I'm thinking he's asking because he wants to be a starting quarterback. He wants to be a starter. He does not want to be a backup. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think he's asking for too much money, and I think that's where it's coming from.
And I think
I hit the button.
I was going to say something.
Go ahead and say it.
I think that's fair that he might be asking for too much money. I'm on your same side, which is that it's ridiculous that he stood up for his opinions and no NFL team wants him. Or they threw him to they kicked him to the curb last year. Was what it feels like. I mean, he got so much backlash. It was kind of ridiculous, but it's too bad. But I don't see any team signing him.
I apologize. He had 4 interceptions last year. 4. He had a 16-4 touchdown to interception ratio. 4-1.
I'm not saying anything different.
Well, for that same thing, like a couple of seasons ago, he doesn't really throw to where the defenders could get an interception.
No, he doesn't.
That's why. Because he doesn't throw deep. He usually throws, like, if you don't see no one open far away, he's going to do the hot routes. And that's why you don't see him go interceptions. And the times where he does throw an interception is pretty much when he mistakenly overthrew a person, one is wide receiver or his tight end. But beside that, he plays it. He plays, he plays careful when he plays. Which is...
He's more likely to fumble the ball than he is to throw an interception.
Hold on. Before fumbles, I mean, he has 2. He had 2 last season.
3. Well, I mean, I don't know how much Wikipedia is correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
We have different numbers. It's fine.
But yeah. Okay, so he had 3. So 4 touchdowns or 4 interceptions and 3 fumbles. I mean...
How many games you played last season?
It said 12.
12 games, 11 started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I'll hit the button again.
No! That's my button. Just because I'm not even going to let you finish that strike.
Oh, man. Come on.
I'll give you guys both a strike for it. You guys had arguments before it just turned...
If we just argue every time, it'll give us a strike every time.
That ain't true.
No. I mean, like I said, you guys made good points in the beginning before you guys started arguing. And... That wasn't I was looking for, but oh well.
Do you think that he'll get signed?
I do think he's gonna get signed, but I think more as a backup. I don't think he's gonna start.
He'll have to take backup money though.
And that's the issue. I think that's where the issue kind of goes.
Number 6. Now we'll go to the NBA Finals. Playoffs, I mean. How do you see the Jazz and Warriors going? Answer this question. Blanks wins in blank games.
I know he's going to get me on this. Oh, he's going to get me just because I know this.
No,
I know, Mark, I know you too well.
You could say Warriors. I'm not.
Okay.
I want to see. I want to see you guys. I want to hear you guys make good arguments. That's all I care about. Go ahead.
I say Warriors in 6. And the reason why I say that is because it depends on if Gobert is healthy.
You have to say when, like how I said the question. Blank wins in blank.
What did I just do?
That's what he did.
I just did.
I thought you said they win in 6 games.
Yeah, no, he said Warriors win in 6.
I said Warriors win in 6.
Okay, games. Okay.
And then the reason why.
Okay, go ahead.
Is I think that if Rudy Gobert is healthy for the Jazz, he can be a be a big time defender in the middle, where you have guys like Kevin Durant that want to get inside. You have guys like Steph Curry that want to get inside as well and kick it out to Klay Thompson. If he's not healthy, it may be harder. But if you have guys like Gordon Hayward and guys that are healthy, and Joe Thomas that's been
Joe Ingles.
No. That ain't Joe Ingles.
Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Well, they're both on the Jazz.
Okay. Yeah. Joe Johnson is healthy.
Good job, Sam.
Yeah.
Good job.
If he's healthy, or is hitting the shots like he did in Los Angeles against the Clippers to win Game 1 and do things like that, I think it puts a little pressure on the Warriors. Warriors haven't been tested. Obviously, they played the number 8 seed, so it was it was a quick, easy, good night, let's go ahead and rest up. Well, the Jazz aren't a number 8 seed, and they've shown why they are a number 5 seed and why they beat the Clippers and why they're battle tested. I think the Warriors are going to be in for a hard-fought match, but I still see them. The Warriors will win in 6 games. He's giving me a 5 for that. I already know it, but that's okay.
No.
Gutter.
All right, so I'm also going Warriors in 6. Just because I believe 6 games. Sorry, just because I believe that the Jazz are a tough team. I mean, we've had trouble beating them in the past.
You play on the team?
Okay, just derail me completely, why don't you?
I worked on it.
Yeah.
Good job.
Dang it, where was I? Yeah, the Jazz are a tough team. They play very solid defense. Everyone knows that, but I think the key here will be health for both teams, because not only does Kevin Durant have to prove that he's healthy and that he's gotten enough rest from his latest injury, but then besides Gobert, Derek Favors is also having some back problems. It says he's expected to play tomorrow, but
they played today.
Oh, sorry, today. I forgot already. He's coming off the bench for them, right? I think, because you're a Jazz fan.
Yeah,
okay.
he comes.
But he's still an important player for them, and if Sean Livingston could get back healthy, that would be nice too. I think the Warriors, just what they have to do is not do what they did in Game 1 against Portland, where they came out flat and nearly let the Blazers win that game. Basically, like they need to show up in Game 1 and actually expect that the Jazz are going to give them everything they've got.
You guys both at 8.
Oh, cool. Appreciate the hell out of that.
I told you, man. All you gotta give just good points.
So I assume you docked me because of the Joe Thomas thing instead of Joe Johnson.
No, I just give you 8.
Yeah, I feel like well, then why don't you give me a 9 for telling him who the player was?
Because I helped you out with saying games.
No, but then you lose that point because you didn't know if Favor was playing or not. And no, not that one. You thought they're playing tomorrow when they're playing tonight.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
There you go.
I forgot it was Tuesday, honestly.
Really?
Yes, I did.
2-9 Sports is on Tuesday.
Dude,
from
the school
5
week,
to 8.
Shall I show you my text real quick about everything?
And you even post on Facebook.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. I forgot when the Warriors were playing. That's what I should have said.
No, you knew it was Tuesday.
No, I didn't.
You knew they played on Tuesday.
I forgot.
Because you said you didn't know today was Tuesday.
Whatever.
Ah, Sam.
I don't.
1 to 10, how mad are you? Are you frustrated?
He said 13.
Mildly annoyed.
Remember, you asked for this.
I didn't ask for this.
We do it every time.
I know. I should expect it by now.
Okay, sticking with the Warriors. So they had an article, I don't know if you've seen it, about some Warriors players were talking about wanting to play against the LA Clippers instead of Utah Jazz because there's no nightlife in Utah. Should they worry about winning the games in Utah rather than partying their days off in Utah?
Are we on odd number?
Yeah. Odd.
Yeah, it's yours.
Okay, it's me. Man, Matt Barnes. I know he's on the Warriors. I know that, but I mean he's been a knucklehead for his career. He shouldn't be worrying about partying. It's the playoffs. Don't worry about that.
Come on, playoffs.
Not a game.
Playoffs. I mean, I don't really know what he's thinking by saying that. It shouldn't matter, and frankly, actually, it's probably better that they got Utah so that there is no nightlife. They don't have to worry about that. I don't know what he's thinking. I think it's pretty stupid that he said that, and I don't know why he would even be worried about that. Get your head in the game.
I did hear a little bit about it. It was off of another sports show that I didn't even see the article. I just happened to listen to a part of it. Yeah, I think that the Warriors have a lot more to worry about than worrying about the nightlife in Utah. I mean, I understand there's no nightlife compared to LA, but you are, and it's hard for me to just go and just say, I want to kind of talk about what Sam said. I mean, it is the playoffs. Sam nailed it. I mean, it's right on the head. This is now, if you play around a little too much, this team that was built as a super team, if you want, however you want to categorize it, is very close to being bounced out if you're not careful, and you got a formidable foe in Utah that can bounce you out if you're not careful and shock the world all at the same time. So focus on the games, worry about the nightlife after the season. You have 4 months to go worry about the nightlife. And, you've already been in enough trouble as far as, who cares, Matt Barnes, but you have 4 months to go ahead and he ain't even going to be on the team next season. So
probably not.
It's worry about this next couple of months. You have until late June. You have another month and a half still to go. After that, go party. I don't care, but don't worry about the nightlife for the next month and a half.
I mean, I think the Warriors need to make sure that they are 100% focused against this Jazz team. Like, don't worry about the nightlife at all. Like, they need to make sure they're focused if they want to beat this team, because the Jazz have shown that they are good and they can cause the Warriors problems.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Barnes being stupid. Barnes is like what we're used to seeing.
Yep.
And that's why the Sacramento Kings got rid of him anyways. So, and it just worked out to go back to Golden State, but still.
I give you guys a strike.
Okay. All right.
Still with the NBA playoffs. Number 8. Which game is going to be worth watching?
Oh, that's just it? Okay.
Yeah. Well,
you mean series, right?
Yeah, which series?
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna dig this. Hey, I'm gonna be digging this San Antonio Spurs and Houston Rockets series. It's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of intriguing matchups. Kawhi and the Beard versus going at each other, and James Harden just doing what he can do. Where does LaMarcus Aldridge fit in this whole piece? There's a lot of pieces here that that everybody knows that the Houston Rockets can score points. Can the San Antonio Spurs keep up with their point total? On the flip side of it, can the San Antonio Spurs slow down that point total, and can they do enough to score some points? I already know that the Houston Rockets are already up 1-0, but this series is very intriguing to me.
I think that I agree with you that is the best series. I'd say that the Warriors. It's either the Warriors or the Cleveland series. One of those is like number 2 because both of those have some intriguing matchups. But San Antonio Houston is a very good one. I mean, Houston is already up 1-0 after they dominated apparently against the Spurs last night. But yeah, that's a very interesting series because I really don't know who's going to win that series. I really don't know. It could be San Antonio could do what they always do and find a way to win. But Houston seems to be playing very solid basketball right now, so I don't know who's going to win, and that's why.
Who wins that game and how many games?
I say Houston wins it. I think I could see this going all the way to Game 7. I mean, I think this will probably be the most compelling. This could be the most compelling series in the playoffs. I mean, everyone wants to see Golden State and Cleveland in another round, but I think this one could be the most compelling. I think this one could be, as much as San Antonio is not the sexy team, but yet Houston can be by scoring a lot of points. This could be the most compelling one.
I'm also going to go with Houston. I'm going to go in 6, just because I feel like if it went to 7, I don't know if Houston could win in San Antonio. So that's why I just think if Houston's going to win, it's going to be in 6.
To be fair, they already did, though.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Game 7, that one always amps it up a little bit for the home crowd.
True.
It's almost like a home crowd. I mean, they're both.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Not really.
They're only a few hours apart or something.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you guys another straight.
Solid.
All right.
Did you like I was just straight to the point on that one?
No, I'd like to mention you mentioned the beard.
The beard? Oh, okay. Because you've got your beard rocking?
Yep. The beard. Oh, that's the question.
What number are we
9.
9? All right. This is yours, Sam.
So, no, this is all Jeff.
Is it really?
Because this is a Delta question.
Oh, crap. Okay.
So you have to make this is a team, so you have to make it sound good.
Okay.
He's like, I don't care. It's not good. I'm gonna get a gutter ball.
Tell me what to look up. I'll do some research.
It's Delta College softball and baseball. How far can both teams go into playoffs?
Both of them. BOF-UM can get into the playoffs and they can go deep.
How far?
I think really. I mean, I've seen the baseball team. It's been inconsistent for what we're used to and accustomed to. Better known as D Squad. Thank you. They can get to the Final Four, but I don't see them. I'm saying that they're going to get in by the skin of their teeth, but I don't see that they can do much further than that. Softball is a different animal this year. I mean, I think that the softball team with Mulgenberg, I think she can carry this team, and I think that this team can reach the finals. I think they can. I think they can. They're that good. Coach Fisher has them playing well. Give it to him.
Were you gonna try to say something, Sam?
No, I just looked up their record and I was trying to find what I can, but it seems like they got a very good record. Then usually that describes a pretty good team.
You want some help? Go to CCAA Sports. CCCAA Sports.
CCC.
AA Sports. And just hit search. There you go.
So Jeff,
that would have helped.
That he could look at it. I'm gonna give him some time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know how much I can come up with in like a minute, but
just quickly look at the softball team since I'm really pushing the softball team hard. I mean, like I said, Coach Fisher and what his history is, he's brought him into a couple playoffs here recently. Most notably, the one that we broadcasted, if you remember, Mark, way back when. What was it? 3 years ago? That was fun. That was the first time that David Hepperly and I did a women's softball playoff game, and we saw a broken bat, a aluminum broken bat. Never happened in we've never seen it in our lives, and broke the bat. And yet that team was pretty good. I think this team is 10 times better, and I could see them going all the way to the finals. Maybe I wouldn't say they're going to win, but it depends on who their matchup is in the finals. What you got?
I mean, I just have their record. They're 34-5 overall. That's pretty darn good, and 21-3. I'm guessing within their own conference.
Yep, the Big Eight.
Yeah. So clearly, this team is 8-2 in their last 10. They've got it rolling, and I don't think if you think that they can go all the way, then I think that as well.
This weekend, we'll see what they can do. I believe they play San Jose, so watch out.
San Jose State?
No, just San Jose.
Oh,
it's JC.
Okay.
I'll give you guys a 9.
I'll take it.
Sam said State.
Oh, you killed it!
He almost had it.
I mean,
it's like it's gonna hit the strike, but like the one
left to the 10 pin.
The pin was going. Nope.
Oh, those kill me too.
I ain't falling down.
I can't believe he docked me for that. Oh man.
Yeah, that's what happens when you play when you you're gonna get that pin where it doesn't want to fall down. Okay, so since we're ending this number 10, so as school is closing, it's closing for the end of the semester. So this is also especially for you, Sam. What has been the best sport moment you remember this school year? Covering wise, watching, or interviewing wise?
For the Tigers?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, this from also included last fall.
Right. Man, I feel like there's a few.
You can give me how many you want.
All right, I think there's 3 on my mind right now.
Okay.
So I'll go in chronological. So first off, seeing the men's soccer team. Apparently, I had heard that they were just awful last year.
Only one win.
Yeah, one win to like a 11.5 game turnaround or something like that. And making the NCAA tournament, where they won a game, they won their first ever game, put up a tough battle against Stanford before getting knocked out. Like seeing that team do that was pretty cool.
Before you continue, were you able to see the video clip when they were announced they got into?
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. It was pretty cool to see that. They were going crazy.
I want to make sure you mention that, 'cause that's also a good moment.
Yeah, did you videotape that, or no? Just a good moment. Okay, I just wasn't sure. Then secondly, I'd say just being able to broadcast the women's college basketball games was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing that. It was a lot of action, and I feel like I felt like I was able to get in the flow of the game pretty quickly, actually, for that sport.
I know the third one's going to be anything but basketball, but which game was where you liked the most? Where you were more
like what?
When calling games from the women's basketball.
Oh, which of the 3?
No, from which of the game that you did the broadcaster for the women's basketball?
Oh, like which ones did I do? That's what you.
Which one you liked the most?
Oh.
Which game, if you remember any game that when you were watching it doing the game was like, oh my god.
I mean, the one against Portland went into overtime. I think. I want to say, was that the game that went into overtime? Dang it! That was pretty cool to see both teams battle, and we came up a little short, but I mean, I saw 3 losses in the games that I broadcasted, but I had fun anyways.
Oh, well, so we're not gonna have you back next week.
Look,
Perfect, Coach. I already know who we're taking away. It's gonna be all right.
I've been bad luck in all events that I've been to this year. Just bad year for that. Actually, I also forgot that of one more, which was the women's field hockey.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a few of the games during their playoff run. I saw that game against, I want to say it was Albany, where they won in overtime. Like, they made a comeback and won in overtime. And like, I'd never watched field hockey prior to this year, but it's a really fun sport to watch, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again in the fall.
By the way, it's a ball, not a puck. Just in case anybody wants to kill me on it.
Okay. He's not wrong.
But so you would always get bullied because you would say the wrong term.
Okay. But then the last thing is when we helped out with the NCAA tournament that was here in Stockton. Even though that wasn't exactly for the Tigers, I mean, it was representing the Tigers, you know? And just being able to stay on the court and see what the arena looked like on a non-game day and help out with the press conferences, I think that was a lot of fun as well. Sorry, Jeff, it took a while.
No, you're killing plenty of time. I'm just looking up. It's 8 o'clock almost. Yes! But, you know, Mark, to finish things off, I mean...
You've done a lot.
You're absolutely right. In no way, shape, or form, man, am I trying to sway your scoring system. But, dude, we've all done quite a few things, and I think that one, you need to answer this question too. But
nope,
you have to.
It's required.
I ain't gonna let you leave.
Okay.
But no, I mean, in all honesty, though, man, we've covered and we've done a lot of things, not just here at Pacific, but over there at Delta. Being able to show what our true potential is. Calling a lot of women's and men's basketball games over at Delta. But also being able to do women's basketball here. I've called my first volleyball game here. Called my first field hockey game here. Called soccer, men's and women's soccer here. Being able to go to Stanford and watch them play, that was fantastic.
You went to that game?
Yeah, I was there.
Wow. And you did broadcasting for field hockey and soccer?
I have, yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Also,
baseball.
Well, yeah, there's baseball, but then we also get a chance to see the individual stuff. You know, Lexi Ellman being the 8th player in Tiger history, 1,000 kills and 1,000 digs. TJ Wallace being able to be the 24th player to have 1,000 points in Pacific history. And I think he ranks now like 13th or something like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've seen a lot of athletes go through this program and graduate, and it's like, wow, these kids are growing up in front of us and watching them what they can do. And then you move over to fall, and we can't even think about men's water polo, what they're doing, being number 5 nationally ranked right now. Women's water polo, we're going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and have a chance to see them this weekend in a playing game to go to the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, yeah, it's fantastic. It's fun to call baseball games. It's fun to call softball games. Yeah, I had a blast this whole season. Where can I go? But the reality is that without you helping kind of pave the way with us, we all wouldn't be here. So, I mean, we may be in different areas. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and with you helping me certain ways, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I don't think. I mean, I might be, but I can't prove it. So, I mean, the reality is, man, you kind of need to answer this question. And I'm finishing off mine right here because we've all done a whole bunch of stuff that we won't ever forget. And it's been a fun year. And we still got a little bit more to go, but it's been a damn good, fun year. And I still got many, many more memories to go. So I'm not gonna hit that button yet. You got to tell me. No.
I'm absolutely with Jeff on this.
I can get a gutter ball. Go ahead, man.
We want to hear you.
Okay, so
your opinion,
Delta. So we go back to Delta. college. Being one of the volleyball games that we were covering,
Yeah.
we were stopped by a couple people talking about how they like our thing on 209 Sports.
Mm-hmm.
So to get that recognition was pretty much pretty interesting, pretty cool. I was gonna say some other words, but can't say that. Explicit language. So, but just being able to be recognized outside, to be outside in public is pretty much a good thing. And then being able to just be part of, being able to cover the games here for the people of the athletic department for letting us to do what we do. Getting the players interview post game. And we just thought that it's something that just we're gonna be doing for the rest of the time. But then, like opportunities comes from that. So the next step for me was, they need camera crew. Michael January, he pretty much, hey, I need a couple extra hands. And I thought it was just a one-time thing, but you never know. So you just keep on asking, do you need help? So I was able to, for this past year, I was able to film the field hockey. I forgot the letters, but the tournament that they had here, the championship.
Oh, the America East.
Yeah, the America East Championship. So it was pretty nice. Being able to be up pretty much
extremely high.
Yeah, extremely high. And before that, I remember I had to call a game for the soccer for the women's soccer game.
Was it women's?
There were two games I did. I did for the men's. The first time where I was pretty much just say, hey, pitching person.
Yeah.
Come in and
they called the lefty.
Yeah, they called me in. So I was like, all right. And then the other one for the women's soccer team, I was doing their senior day, senior night, I guess, but it's not really nighttime, but it's their senior day. So I did that, and after that, I rolled over to field hockey to finish up their game.
Oh yeah.
And I was able to catch the goal that made Pacific advance to the next round. So I think that was the one, Albany or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the one he was referring to.
Yeah, that's the one you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one. And then after that, I also did water polo, the men's water polo tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to do that in the rain, super rainy, but it was fun times. Fun times.
It was. Called water polo. I've called water polo too. I mean, it's just, it's just we happen to work our way in, and that's kind of where we're at now. So we're unofficial but official Tiger.
Oh, and don't forget, we got to go over to Stockton Arena to do the NCAA women's tournament.
I couldn't believe I was the only one that mentioned that for a moment there. Yeah.
So
that was the big one.
That was the best thing.
Yeah, and we're still not done, man. Yeah. I mean, we still got a little bit more time to go. So.
And we got baseball coming up for the CECAA.
Yep. I still haven't gotten a phone call back, but I'm looking forward to mine. So.
There you go.
All about that paper, boss. So real quick, hold on.
Okay.
What do we get?
We'll get a strike.
Perfect.
Nice.
Because I answered it.
I think we'd all gotten a strike either way, but
you sure?
Maybe.
Okay, good job. Good answer.
Anyway, what was your question?
Is this last show? Is this the last show of the year?
I don't know yet.
Okay. I mean, it's mine, technically.
Mm-hmm.
I should say.
Well, that's good. I had the last question for that.
Yeah.
There you go.
I knew you were coming.
It was good. It was a good wrap up.
There you go.
So we want to go ahead and, the reality is, if this is the last show, we want to make sure we thank everybody. I mean, and we've had countless guests, and so we can't thank everybody individually, but we want to thank everyone that did come in and that has taken time out after a game to take a few minutes and have us with an interview, and we play it on air or whatever the case may be, whether it be a coach, because I don't want to individualize any coach because then I'd have to name them all off, or a player. But they've done, they've treated us just like, they treated us like media, but they knew who we were, and so it made it a little bit easier. So we want to thank you all. I mean, it was a fun year. So, but tonight, as far as tonight goes, I want to thank Cassidy Gustafson and Marissa Young, University of Pacific Women's Softball. Thank you, Christine Jacobson, CJ, for setting that all up for us. Appreciate the heck out of that. She does a great job. And I don't know if Ted's listening, but if he is, she does a fantastic job. That whole crew there does a great job. So thank you all very much. And of course, as we kind of finish things off here, Professor Graham Carpenter. Thanks a lot, man.
He loved his fun.
He loved the pho.
He loved the pho. Yes, and that's how we pronounce it. Pho, not pho.
That's one thing that I think I'm not going to get in trouble for. I know you told me how to say it before I even knew what it was. I still want some because I've only heard good things about it. But anyways, thank you, Professor Carpenter. Thank you, the entire communications department, for allowing us to do what we do, and of course the entire athletic department for allowing us to do everything. So let's go ahead and turn him off. And we want to go ahead and cue the music from all of us here. From Sam Maloof, Mr. DJ JOD, Mark Leong. I'm Jeff Dominic saying until next time. Hopefully we'll be back next week. We'll see how things go. Actually, we will not be next week because we have baseball next week. But hopefully we'll be back for the following week. Until then, have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, you, it's me, your heart. Listen to me. We've got to talk. High blood pressure